Was it my turn to intro or yours?
I feel like these chords are getting shorter every time.
Yeah, I know.
Do you feel like that as well?
So it's like when you put things in the wash and it shrinks.
Oh no.
Every time we use it, it shrinks.
They're literally getting shorter.
Okay, so we're ready to start the
Yeah.
potty?
42? 41?
42, I believe. Can I actually double check that?
Yeah, just triple check.
God, man, I always forget.
We're so dumb.
We have, what's it called? What's that concept called? The memory of a goldfish. Is that what it is?
Don't group me in that basket.
I think it is. Let's just find it. Finding it. We are 42. Welcome, Summoners, Warriors of the Summoners Rift.
Warriors.
To episode number 42 of the Broken by Concept podcast. I hope you guys like Curtis's new glasses. He wasn't going to say anything, and I know he wasn't, but he was just hoping I mentioned it. So what look are you going for here, Curtis?
I just want to embrace my identity of being a nerd. I'm a nerd at the
They're
end of
nerdy
the
glasses.
Day. They're nerdy glasses, but I'm a nerd at the end of the day.
So is it because they're like really rectangular?
Yeah, it's like a geek, you know?
If you have circular glasses, that's like retro.
Everyone tries to be cool and stuff.
That's cool.
But like, I just got to embrace my identity, dude. I play video games.
You're
all
a
the time.
gamer.
That's all
You're
I
a video
do.
gamer.
Come on, man. It's accept reality.
Just a bunch of little nerds in our basements. In our
yeah.
mum's basements, just gaming all day.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, Curtis.
So,
I'm going to start off with
talk about your SoloQ. I want to talk about your SoloQ first. Let's get that out of the way.
Okay, first, let me quote something, okay?
Okay, what
Don't look at my notebook, dude. You're like cheating, dude. I got to go like this.
I got my notebook there. You can't flex on me. I got mine here as well, dude.
So this is from BBC episode number 31. January 5th of 2021. This is like the dialogue. You know, it's like a screenplay. You have like dialogue.
Yep, I'm ready. You got to say Nathan says this. Okay.
No, it's just like Nathan ...
Okay,
right?
Nathan ...
I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Nathan, my goal is 3 accounts challenger. Curtis ... Being brutally honest with you,
Yeah.
I think the way you play right now, it's impossible. You have bad habits. Okay, this is January 5th. Today's date is the 22nd of March. So we're that's 2.5 months. We talked about this a little bit. We did a little preview, but let's take a look on the Challenger ladder, Curtis. The Challenger ladder in OCE. I am rank 44 with 539 LP. Explain yourself, Curtis.
I stand by my statement.
You stand by your statement?
Do you think you're doing the exact same things that you were doing?
Not even close.
That's it, man. You change your habits. You do blocks. I mean, I still think you're iffy on this next one, but you stick to a champ pool.
Yeah, that's
Champ
working
mastery.
on in progress.
And you get into the review. You used to never review. You take notes when you review. That's the biggest things. Blocks and take
I've
reviews.
reviewed every single game this season.
Yeah, I see you take notes as well.
And I have notes for everything.
Yep.
It's so cool, dude.
So simple, dude.
I would love to know. Like, you don't even do that, do you?
I don't take notes, no. I review all my games, but I don't take notes.
I'd love to know if anyone here has reviewed every single one of their games this season. I've reviewed 300 games. I've made a video recording, and I've made notes.
But you've actually recorded in yours.
How crazy is that?
That's pretty insane, dude.
I have like this whole backlog.
But so aren't some of yours like one death?
And then end the review.
So it's like a minute long?
Yeah, some of them are like 30 seconds long.
Oh,
Sometimes
right.
I choose the wrong win condition and it gets over.
Yeah.
But some of them, so interesting, the ones that I review, my longest reviews are actually games that I win. Because what I want to see is how could I have closed out the game quicker.
For sure.
Losses are really quick end of reviews.
Yeah, they are.
Way. It's like, okay, that makes sense. It's like, I misplayed a skirmish on this crab or something like that.
Yeah,
And
thinking back on my own as well, you're right. My losses are much shorter than my wins. I think you're right. Because with wins, you want to see both why or how you got ahead, but also, yeah, there's just more room for improvement.
Yeah.
I would say so.
That's an interesting observation. So yeah, I've been blocking, been reviewing.
Yep. Notes.
Dude, honestly,
How do you feel?
fitness-wise, the gym, it's so hard to like explain to people.
It is, yeah.
But like I'm.
How do you feel? So let's rather than saying, let's just Don't talk about the advantages. Don't talk about the benefit. All I want you to tell me is just how you feel.
Just clarity. That's the word. Like, and I know the process will work. Like, like, maybe it's delusional in terms of belief, like 3-game blocking and like fitness gym, like my schedule. But maybe it's more confidence in knowing that it's work. I've thought about that, but maybe it's not.
Right.
You know, maybe I
Like
actually do have more energy, but I don't know.
like some form of placebo effect.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's scientifically proven that health and fitness is pretty important, right? To make sure you're performing
Something
mentally,
about
right?
it definitely helps your mental focus.
You know what I was thinking as well is I feel like that if I wanted to be the best player I possibly could, I think I could push it further by actually doing more exercise.
Explain more.
So you know how we
so we do 4 days.
4 days
right now.
Yeah, like
So we do Monday, Tuesday, break.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Usually.
I felt like if I did that and I ran like a couple of hours later, I would like be even better in a weird way. What do you reckon?
Okay.
Like I think I'm just like obsessed.
Okay,
with
now
the
let's get more
fitness thing.
specific here then. What do you mean? So better at what?
Just more, even have more energy and even more focused and more clear. Because like, so let's say maybe like in between my blocks, like I was to run or something like that. And like I come back, I feel like that's better than a mental refresh and like getting out of my room and just getting off the PC for like 30 minutes.
But you also got to take into account, I mean, yes, I think there's an element of, I mean, I think the exercise, even light walking outside would do a very similar thing.
Yeah, potentially.
But then you got to remember, it's kind of like time investment. Think about what you could be doing otherwise with that time. Because think about it, doing another whole run. It's not just the run itself. You got to like warm up.
Yeah, like I'm saying right now in my schedule that would be very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But if it was to be the best play, if I was going to go, I feel like that exercising.
So if you were just say you were a young 16, 17-year-old kid, you were trying to get rank 1.
I'll be like exercising.
Optimizing your schedule
3 times, dude, a day.
So you do gym in the morning.
Yeah. No.
So
what I'll do is I'll probably get up and run. This is what I want to try.
Right.
Like maybe one time. Get up, like run, like
yeah.
I don't know, like 3Ks, 3-4Ks.
Yeah.
And then
so like a short jog, yeah, or run, yeah.
It's not exactly short. Go to 3Ks.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like 30, 40 minutes, right? 30 minutes. That's pretty fun.
Is that? I'm pretty sure it's way shorter than that. But anyway, something like that.
So, then do the actual like weight training.
So run then weight training.
No, sorry. Do like do a 3 block.
Yeah.
Okay, and then weight training, and then 3 block, and then run in again, and then sleep, and then you just wind down.
That's ridiculous.
Is that insane?
I think the running at the end of the day is unnecessary. I think you could do run and then block, then weight training, and then do something very light. We're talking even stretching, dude.
Yeah, stretching.
Even stretching would just be like really good, or like a walk.
I'd love to try it out, dude. Like so
that's insane training.
This
dude.
is my
theory. I think you'll burn out, dude. Because I did something kind of similar.
Yeah.
So not on the same day, but what I used to do was, when I was going really hard at the gym, so I would do my 4 days, and then I would run on 5, 6. I would only have 1 break day, and I got exhausted. I got burnt out.
Interesting.
I got
so
burnt out.
you were literally less energy. You will be less.
I was less
focused.
energy,
You were like super tired.
and I couldn't even when I went to the gym and did weight training on the day. So would do running on one day. So the way I would do my days would be like it would be weight training, running, weight training, running, weight training, running. It would go for like 6 days, and then 1 day off. And I was screwed on the weight training days. Like I wasn't recovering enough. And you just get burnt out.
Got it.
That's what happened to me anyway. I got burnt out and I just stopped. And that's when I cut down my days. Now I only train 4 days. I can't train more than 4. I even feel exhausted. I start to feel exhausted like physically. On Wednesday, my body's needing a break. When I do Monday, Tuesday, on Wednesday, my body's needing a break.
Like I'm in pain, but I feel like I can keep going. I don't know, maybe I'm not pushing myself as hard as you
but just try. I mean, why not? What's the harm in trying?
I want to try it out.
What's the harm in trying?
But that's I think been.
So you think that's been a
huge
huge thing? Just overall fitness.
I think so.
So if you were to, because Nathan, you were a very stereotypical example of someone you'd never been to the gym for the last year, like literally never, but
Never.
physical exercise wasn't even a part of your life really. You went
Yeah.
through a brief stint in
Yeah, I've
2017
done-
where you went through running and stuff, but that wasn't really for weight training or anything like that.
Yeah, the only exercise that I've consistently done would be running. There
You
has
did a
been
bit of
stages.
cycling as well.
And cycling as well, yeah.
But what advice would you give to someone that, because I've got people in my Discord trying to get
Yeah.
into it. What would your advice be to someone who hasn't really had a physical background? They want to get into it. Where do they start? Well, explain the mindset and explain what advice would you give?
You just gotta go and do it and have the mindset you're gonna suck. And the thing that I always would say, remember the thing, I'm the weakest man on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And that would just be like, okay, it's like I'm weak, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm just a
So,
weak
like,
little
embrace
dude.
it.
Yeah, just embrace
Yeah.
it. I was getting excited. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted someone to like come and like try and help me at the gym because like I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know?
Right.
So instead of like, yeah, I know it all, like I'm gonna rock
Right.
up there like I'm a man, you know.
So you just kind of accept it. And
Yeah. Just do it,
embrace
have
the
a crack,
suck.
and just learn and just be shit, dude, for a
Right.
while. And then you just get comfortable. And now it's like, bam, dude, you just go. To
You
the
don't
gym,
even
just
think
pop
about
out.
it. It's just like,
I
just
have
is.
to go. I
Yeah,
do
you just
go.
go. You just
It's a
go.
requirement.
But you feel shit when you don't go.
Oh
right?
yeah, no, it's like it's game over, dude.
Yeah, you
it's
feel
end
terrible.
of review, dude.
It literally is, day's end of review.
if I don't stay to my schedule, you know.
So, do you feel as though you know, kind of recapping here?
Yeah.
I mean, I stand by what I said. Right?
Okay. Maybe you need to go with someone because I mean that's what I did. I went with you. And maybe someone that you like because you need an accountability partner.
I think for most people they need a trainer.
Yeah.
I would recommend anyone to
Yeah.
get a trainer. Get a personal trainer.
And if you can't afford that, just get a friend.
Get a friend. Have a
And it's
crack.
like, okay, we're gonna do this together. Let's go. Let's do it.
Be at the same time.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time. Just go there.
Yeah.
Even if you got a trainer for like a week.
Just to learn the ropes.
Do it for a week, yeah.
Because it's so intimidating with all the machines and shit, dude.
Like the
they're-
free
it's
weights,
just
like, what do I
insane.
do here?
Yeah. What are the exercises I do?
Yeah, it is true. It's very intimidating.
It's really simple at the end of the day, though.
Once you get into it, yeah. But Nathan, recapping here. Look, I stand by what I said. With the habits that you had and the way you were conducting your practice and everything, I didn't think you would ever improve, right?
Yeah.
I think you were capped at the
Yeah.
time. If you were to go back in time,
Yeah.
Nathan now speaking to Nathan of, let's say 2019, when
Yeah.
that's when you were in you were in the shit, dude.
Yeah.
In terms of improvement, or when you did start even in early 2020, like
Yeah.
you're just grinding
Just in
mindlessly.
diamond.
Yeah, like what would you say to yourself going back in time now?
Just get your shit together, man. Get into the details.
Yeah,
Don't think you're better than what you are. Because that was I think my biggest problem is I was living in the past.
right.
Or that I was ranked 2 challenger. And that was the excuse because I was rewarded for bad habits. Because remember when I got ranked 2,
Yeah.
that when I was 3 counts top 10 in season 4, that was when I was just a gamer doing 15 games a day, dude. In like my mum's basement.
But you could even get away with playing in a
Zero
very
fitness.
but you could also get away with playing in a very selfish way. And
Yeah.
it probably instilled some bad habits.
Yeah, and also in terms of the actual game where it was played as well, right?
Right,
Just
yeah.
my play style and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
So just all getting out of your own way, essentially.
yeah, just get into the process, stick to a schedule.
So how come you didn't do it? You knew this stuff.
I
It's
know,
not like it's
and that's the
magical.
thing. I
That's
knew
the
this.
thing
No,
that
no, because
confused me. That's why I said you had no hope. Because
No.
I told you this a trillion times.
because the game going back, it was I'll do that once I get to like master grade, like once I start actually struggling, like a rank
Yeah.
that like I deserve to be at.
Yeah.
Like I thought I deserved a rank.
Okay,
You don't
look,
deserve anything.
I think that ties beautifully into another thing that just popped in my mind. I wanted to talk about this, but I actually completely forgot about it. I had a guy on my Discord, Perfect Blue, and he asked a great question.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know anyone who got to Diamond or like Master or by actually like reviewing their games.
Yeah, it's true. No one reviews.
And you know what I thought
Yeah.
about this? There are let's break this down because this is I've had people say this before, right? Yes, you're right. There are probably a wide variety of people out there that get to Master or Diamond, whatever.
Challenger, come on.
Sometimes even Challenger. I beg to differ though. No.
Okay.
I actually would say no.
Really?
That just can't happen.
Okay.
No. I don't think a single Challenger doesn't review their games. At least basic
a
level.
little bit of them.
Yeah, they review 100%. I think you can get to master without reviewing for sure. Even like grandmaster probably.
Yeah.
You cannot get to challenger without reviewing.
Okay.
I don't care what anyone says.
Okay.
On a major server, maybe it couldn't even happen, Rose, honestly.
Okay.
Anyway, that was his question. Now, yes, there are going to be a portion of these people that are just naturally talented gamers. They're going to exist. I was one of them. You were one of them. We were going to get to that rank because we somehow realized, based off our gaming background, that like we had that. I kind of explained it in one of my recent articles where like I understood the learning process. I said in my recent video, I had the hypothesis, whether it was intuitively or just subconsciously. I did that. So I didn't think there was any other way to improve. Like I came in with a hypothesis, I would test it subconsciously, and I would go in and move on and continue that and get better. I never was stuck at a rank. You know, I went straight from gold to diamond and then diamond, you know, to challenger. I didn't stay at a rank for more than a year. So there are going to be those players. They exist. That's as a portion of them. The other portion is just people that have played so many games for so long that throw enough shit at the wall and it sticks. For some players, they can get away with that as well.
Yeah, that's an approach. Yeah,
that's the majority of them.
You throw enough shit at the wall, eventually something's going to stick.
Yeah. And these players, though, they are not... Getting to master tier or diamond that way is incredibly dangerous. You screw yourself. Sometimes they can get to diamond or master that way and they will never get past that. They've got ingrained so many bad habits that that's okay if that's just what they want, but highly unlikely that they're going to be able to get higher. Or if they do want to get higher, they have to go all the way back to Plat 4. Or a guy who's in Master goes all the way back to Diamond 4 Plat 1 in order to get back to Grandmaster or Challenger, which people don't. And they never get back because they don't want to have those painful experiences. So then those players fall into the category of addicted. There's a lot of addicted players in that category as well. And then I would also say there's people that get to diamond differing ways just through one-tricking a champion. They one-trick a champion. And they can get away with not really reviewing and all that stuff because they just play the one champion and it's pure muscle memory. Everything they do is intuitively. I've seen these players all the time. I look at them, I'm like, this player is... I don't understand how they're this ranked, but then I realize, holy shit, this guy has so much champion mastery and he just understands everything intuitively. Even if I asked him why he's doing it, he probably wouldn't even be able to tell me what he's doing, but it works and it gets you to a certain level. And then I also think people get somewhat lucky with their champ pool in a meta. There's that as well. And then I would also say the last one is there are certain players who... Maybe I do know some players that are obsessed with like dodging and things like that, and they understand how to be that player that just plays for the comp. I have seen those players as well. So they just like kind of pick for the comp every single time, pick the OP champ every meta, play a certain amount of games, dodge the unwinnable ones, and they kind of understand how to climb in a way, and they kind of get to a rank that's really above their skill level. I think there's those as well. All in all, though, my main point being, this won't last. As League becomes older and older, and people get better and better, the amount of players we are going to see that are getting high, we've already seen it. People back in the day, no one reviewed games, everyone autopiloted, and you could still get to high challenger. Think about like back in the day, season 3, season 2, 3, 4, all those seasons. No one reviewed. Everyone just mindlessly played. Every season, these players get weeded out slowly. Weeded out.
This is what we do. You and I alone, we take up 2 of the 50 spots in O's Challenger. So it's already 2 spots.
Yeah, we've already weeded out 2 players who haven't done that, essentially, right? We're weeding them out. They get weeded out. And this barrier to entry is actually getting lower and lower in a way. Or higher, sorry. So in a way, you could get to Challenger without reviewing. Now you could only get to around Grandmaster. Now I believe you can only really get it to around like Master, maybe some people Grandmaster, depending on if they're very talented. And this is going to get harder and harder and harder as the game becomes better and people become better and there's more knowledge out there. You can't afford to autopilot anymore. You've seen it. You've seen players like even got to Grandmaster last season or Challenger and they're stuck at D4.
They're struggling now, yeah.
I've seen players literally were high elo, Challenger, and they're stuck at mid diamond now because all they just play was intuitive. It's just they don't actually understand the concepts. And so at the end of the day, yes, if you are lucky enough to have that bit of natural talent, you spam enough games, you're a one trick or whatever it is, you tick one of these boxes and you get there, great. But it's not going to be sustainable. You're not going to know how to get back to that once you actually do drop, or if you quit the game or you take a break, you're actually not going to be able to get back. And again, you don't really take away from the experience in a way. Like, you don't actually learn how to learn in a way. So
I guess this is never promoted as well, because again, you see people like Nightblue or Tarzan, like these are famous jungle streamers. They don't do that. They don't have any sort of improvement.
Well, look, Midbase streams all the time.
Yeah.
All night, doesn't review a single game.
So the people that you look to, the YouTube content, no one's telling you this.
Well, Midbeast is actually a great example, actually, because Midbeast, I believe, is actually a naturally talented gamer.
Yeah.
And also been playing the game for a very long period of time. He's been playing since like season 2, right?
Yeah.
Or season 3.
Yeah.
He's played so much League.
Yeah.
Think about how much League that guy's
throw enough
played.
shit at the wall eventually.
He's played. He's a combination of both, I would say. He's
Yeah.
throwing enough shit at the wall and it'll stick. And he's also naturally competitive. I think he's a pretty naturally competitive dude.
Yeah.
And he's like he's pretty. You can tell he's switched on with games. Like, he'd be a good gamer.
Yeah.
So he kind of ticks all those boxes, which is why he's still able to get pretty high elo. You know, that guy could get so much higher elo if he actually tried.
Yeah.
Like, Midbeast could be way higher potential if he wanted to. Like, last season, he didn't even reach Challenger.
No.
I think he was stuck at like 200 LP or something. And he could have easily gotten somewhere around my ballpark, around 800-ish if he wanted to. But he chooses not to, you know? But it's still, that's good enough for a lot of people. He sees, Midbeast, and Midbeast will say, like, I'm getting the X Challenger and all this shit. It's just sending that message, which is the toxic thing as well.
Yeah, I hate X Challenger. X Challenger means nothing to me.
Yeah.
It's current, what you're at right now.
Yeah, that's true. You see that all too often now as well. X Challenger, X rank 1, or X this. It's like, dude, Challenger 2 seasons ago doesn't mean shit. It actually doesn't.
I agree.
The game has changed so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
With 3 blocking, this is also an observation I've had. I've never, ever, like, lost more than like 50 LP in a day because of the 3 block method as well. And that's what's been really interesting to me as well. I've been just steadily climbing. I've been stuck at I was stuck at 300 LP for probably like 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. And like, it'll be like I'll go like 2 and 1, my first block, and then my second block I would go on that day 1 and 2, 3-3, not really gaining, right? You know, that, and then it'll just be like a day 5-1. Then the next day like 4-2. That's already plus like 60, 70 LP, right? Or even like 100 LP, right? It's a lot. You know, that's a lot of net wins. So, yeah, like I was never playing below my skill level long enough for me to lose massive amounts of LP because I think I was really focused.
That's an interesting way to view it, because if you think about this, so let's just say you had 3 weeks, right, where you had these days. We had like, let's just say net, you played 2 blocks and you went 3 and 3, and the next block you went 3 and 3, and then maybe one day you went, was it 4 and 2, and the next week you went 2 and 4. So let's just say for 3 weeks you actually went basically nowhere.
That's right.
But the great thing is you played those games.
That's right. Yeah.
You played them, so you're playing at that level. You're getting into the review. You're learning more about your champion. You're learning more about your issues, what you do well. You're just learning.
A 3-3 day is successful in my eyes.
Yeah, it actually is.
Staying the same is successful.
It's successful, yeah. And eventually, if you continue this, doing a 3-3, then a 3-3, then a 3-3, then a 3-3, you're not actually going nowhere. If you get into the roof, you're not actually not going nowhere. No. What people don't understand, they think that you just learn something, and then you just boom, like you just climb. Yeah. But it might even just be, sometimes you might even learn a few concepts. This is actually another interesting way to think about it. You know how there's like a puzzle sometimes? There's like those puzzle boxes where like you push one thing in, and then it leads to like and then you push something else in, or like a Rubik's Cube, for example. That's a better analogy. You don't just like, say you want to move like one square to another side. You can't just like move it there. You got to like move it here, then move it there, then move it there, and then you get it there. In a way, with concepts in League, the way I view it, right? Let's just say what's an example of a skill that you're kind of working on, or maybe jungle tracking, right? So you might actually be working on jungle tracking. And let's just you actually get better at this skill. You might not even see the results of getting better at the skill, because in order to really reap the rewards of this skill that you've learned, you actually need to learn something else as well. Perfect example would be in relation to, jungle tracking. you might have jungle. Okay, I want to talk. I don't want to talk about jungle because I don't really know much about it. But let's say mid lane. Let's talk about map awareness, and then say map awareness and identifying roam opportunities. Step number 1 is actually identifying that you're like being able to look at the mini map, and then you might get better at that. Just look at the mini map more, but you're not actually processing much, or you're not sure what to look for. But now you're actually looking at the mini map way more. You might see the jungle more, things like that. But then in order to really climb, or you might get a lot more results once, the second step would be, okay, when I look at the mini map, now I'm actually going to look for what's happening with the waves. Or, okay, step number 1 is minimap, and then step number 2 is knowing where to click my camera on the map to know where to look. So it's like 2 skills that, when brought together, actually bring about a bigger result than just the one skill itself. So people feel like you just learn this one skill, oh my God, I'm going to improve. No. Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes you get a delayed reaction, and it's when other things click together. Have you had an experience like that?
I don't know if it's like I can never think of like one specific day where things click. It's like I've like refined my fundamentals a little bit, and then I like make that one decision better because I have a reference point all this time. It's like, okay, I win the game now. Like, I mean, I don't know if you can relate to that in lower elos or something like that, because I think there's a lot of decisions you can make better.
Yeah.
But for my games right now, and that's why for me to get to the next level, there's some games where like, oh, well, like I should have not made it so easy for the enemy team to get rift held, and that like lost me the game.
Right.
It's like tiny decisions like that.
Yeah,
and then if I'm there for that fight, I win the game. Like I remember versing you in that Twisted Fate game where you had that off-roll, the autofill jungle. I was bot side right like that, and it looked like that I was getting dragon, but I just didn't do dragon because I knew that Jarvan would go straight top side for rift held, and I won the fight that got us back into the game.
Right.
But if I didn't do that, I probably would have lost that game because we were going to get outscaled.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like specific
one little thing.
Decisions, like tiny decisions. It's not like a click. It's not like a concept randomly clicked in my mind. Like I know all the concepts in League of Legends.
Yeah.
Like every time I review a game,
it's not like something new.
There's
like
nothing
you know exactly
new that
what
comes
happened
up.
here.
I know everything that goes wrong in my games, right?
Yeah, interesting.
So it's either like, oh, like I just didn't get information on that bit, so I didn't even look at the map. It's like
Yeah,
I know how to look at the mini
Dude,
map.
my problem is actually very different to yours.
Really?
I swear, like, this is. Let's actually explain. I'll explain when I go into a review.
Yeah.
When I'm improving in League right now, mine feels like my biggest challenge individually is purely getting myself to just be focused.
Playing with intensity.
Because like I did an experiment, right, where I was just like, over the past like week, I've been really like chilling with my SoloQ. I don't know, I've been just low intensity. I don't know what it is. It's just like I just haven't found the time to like, or even when I do put in the time, it just feels low. Just not.
Do you feel
I'm
like
not
you're
excited?
You're just ticking off the box?
Yeah,
of playing?
just playing SoloQ. I'm not excited. I'm not connected. I don't want rank 1. I don't want top 10 enough. It's like I haven't connected with that goal. That's not how I feel for some reason. And I'm sure it will come. It comes in waves for me. But right now I'm just kind of I just don't have that hunger right now. Anyway, I had this one game. I got pissed off. I genuinely got pissed off that I lost like these 2 games. I'm like, I want to have a fucking good TF game, you know? And like I had this one TF game where like I really tried, and I just really focused. I'm like, okay, focus on your CSing. Just go really ham on the details. Actively posture aggressively. Actively flick through my cards to generate threat, create space. Just tick all these boxes. And I had this exceptional Twisted game. I played borderline flawlessly, and I won that game. That would have been a really hard game to win. I played basically flawless decision making with only one mistake in that game, and I won. And I reflected on, like, I can just switch it on. I can just switch this on and play this flawless masterpiece Twisted Fate game that I'm probably going to upload onto my Midland Academy. But the last 6 of my Twisted Fate games have been terrible. And it's just when I switch it on. Just when I go in and it's like, okay, I'm angry. I want to go in and I just want to play a great Twisted Fate game. And I just did it on demand. So my challenge right now, Nathan, is not, I don't feel like when I lose a game, I don't know why. It's not like dang it, I misplayed, or dang it, I don't know how to do this, or anything. No, it's just like, just focus, Curtis. That's where I'm at right now.
Issue.
Yeah, it's an intensity issue. I've got a huge intensity issue.
So, is it possible to be 110% focus intensity every single
No,
game?
but the way I'm thinking back to how this differed last season, right? When I was really trying to get top 10, right? The difference was, and the way this is manifested is that I dodged a lot of unwinnable games when I was actually getting top 10 last season. I don't dodge shit right now. And what's happening right now? I'm losing so many games
because you just want to play.
I just want to play because the queue times are so long, and then there's like a dodge, and then this happens, and I don't want to, like, I have a brief period of time which I can play SoloQ. I don't want to stay up super late playing SoloQ. Block of 3 shouldn't take more than like
3 hours.
That max.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're taking more,
hours.
dude, because there's like a dodge, and there's like a second dodge, and then I got like an autofill jungle, and then I should dodge, but if I dodge, I have to wait again. And if I do that every single game, I'm going to be up for like 4 hours, 5 hours. You know, I'm not going to be able to play the game. So
ruin your schedule.
Yeah, so I don't want to ruin my schedule. So I'm just playing these games, and I counted to you. I said, out of my last 6 games, I had 4 of them or something which were autofill jungles. I had 80 carries playing junglers. 4 of them. Ridiculous. 4 of my 6 losses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, maybe if I play flawlessly, but it's like these are games that I would dodge. But last season, I wouldn't have played these games. Or these comps were just shocking comps that I would dodge. And this is also, I feel like, an intensity. I don't care. I don't care enough if I lose. That's where I'm at right now. I genuinely don't care enough for losing. And I've actually got to the point right now where, like, I'll lose. And last season, I had, like, more of, like, a hunger where it's like,
you want to get top 10 no matter at all costs.
yeah, and I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But I don't have that whatever it takes mentality right now, which is why I'm just hovering at, like, 650 LP. You know, I'm just that's my, like, autopilot elo in a way now. It's like I can just go on and chill, and I'll just that's like my base level in a way.
So you think you just said it there. So you think it's because you don't have a really goal you're excited about?
I would say it's a combination of it's very complex. It's not as simple as connecting to the goal, because a part of me, I'm getting torn from other sides, because I want to play, and I want to win, but then I get every time I get these games where I have an autofill jungle, it actually hurts me. I'm not mentally strong enough. I'm actually not mentally strong enough. Because
you got the invisible narrative now where instantly your percentage win this game is so much lower.
That's right. So that's when I went to that game versus you, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I can't get myself. I genuinely, this is what I'm struggling with right now. I can't get myself to try when I have an autofill jungle. I can't. It's not even the fact that I have an autofill jungle. It's actually that it's it's painful for me to try. And a part of me just wants to lose.
Because that confirms your narrative.
It confirms my narrative.
So it's like, okay, it's like if I try and I break it, it's like, autofill jungle is good, but that's not what you believe in.
Yeah, it's not what I believe in.
That's what psychologically.
So it's like I've got this huge mental block like that. Yeah. Or it's like there's players on my team, and this is my biggest problem right now, dude. Like, there's players on my team that, like, I just dislike, or, like, I don't believe they
don't uphold your values.
They don't. No, they don't. Yeah, they don't. I don't believe they should be here.
Yeah.
And then I play worse, because I'm just checked out. Comparatively to last season, I respected a lot of the players that were in my SoloQ games. The players that are in the SoloQ games now weren't even remotely close to the games. And so what happened, I just tried more, I think. I had more respect for the players that were in the game. I don't know what it was. So some weird psychological...
But you know this is just an excuse, right? Like,
it's all excuses. Yeah. These are all just excuses. And I think my approach right now, the only way for me to... I've thought about this, and the only way for me to get over this is I have to... the way I'm framing it right now mentally is you got to just play beautiful League of Legends regardless. So you're gonna come in, and my goal is actually to play beautiful League of Legends.
Perfect League of Legends.
That's it. And if I can hold myself to that standard, to play beautiful League of Legends and express my best self, that's so simple when you say it like that.
Yeah.
But that's all.
At the end of the day, all you're doing is making good decisions.
That's it, dude.
Yeah. But it's the opposite. My trap is that if I don't play perfect League of Legends, I give up like super easy because I don't deserve to win this game.
Right.
Only with specific champions though.
Interesting.
With my Olaf, you've experienced this. If I have a bad early game as Olaf against a jungler that I'm meant to beat early game, I'm literally just checked out 100%.
I've never known anyone to this extreme as you, by the way.
It's bad, isn't it?
You're like next level.
Yeah.
Like you make one mistake, you're out of the game, checked out. It's fascinating.
But it's only with certain champions though. With Udia, it's like yesterday.
Yeah.
Remember in Clash?
Yeah.
I made 2 game losing mistakes, but I was still trying.
Yeah, you try it. Look, I think that is in a way though, Nathan. It's got positives in a way.
It does because I'm really hard on myself.
You're really
like,
hard on yourself.
My reviews are like,
But you would be
Nathan,
much
you're
higher
shit.
elo, I feel like.
Yeah, I probably would have won an extra, I would say at least this game, 10, 15 games. That's net like 300 LP, 800 LP.
Yeah,
probably
you
by
could
now.
potentially.
Yeah.
But then you'd be in different games, so it's hard
That's
to say
true,
that.
yeah, it's hard to
but
say
yeah,
that.
like you would be higher.
Yeah,
elo.
I'd definitely be at least 100 LP higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I self-sabotage in some of my games with certain champs. Because again, the narrative... And Cassidon's also bad as well. If I don't do anything early to a Cassidon, I'm checked. I'm like you, I have no
Check
intensitives. Because my narrative is, if I don't punish a Cassidon early,
Dude,
he's level 16, it's over. Same with Vladimir. Vladimir, you think is shit. I have the biggest mental block against Vladimir, dude.
Oh, really?
It's insane. Vladimir...
I have mental blocks with
Vayne,
Yumi,
yeah.
does my head in,
Yumi.
dude.
Seraphine.
Seraphine, Yumi, and Sonar. I
And
just
Sonar.
check out dude,
Yeah, it's
mental.
hard,
Like, get me
dude.
out of this game. Dude.
No, but it's fine.
I can't
It's
stand
fine
it.
until that one mistake
Yeah,
happens.
that one mistake that Seraphine lands that ult, Sonar lands
Yeah.
your ult, or the Yumi gets like that kill for your that Riven or something, and it's just the game explodes.
But I know that a lot of these games, but what's the excuse? So it's like
There's
I
no
give up
excuse.
and I waste my time.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
What's the point?
It's not logical.
What's the point?
You know all it is, Nathan? We're just mentally weak.
Yeah, I think
we
that's
just
it. We're
got
mentally-
no control over our
Yeah.
emotions, or very little control over
Yeah.
our emotions, and we got to hold ourselves to a higher standard. That's it. At the end of the day,
And I can go in right now and we talk about this, but it's when you get slowly beaten down
yeah, but
sometimes.
that's the thing. Okay, this is let's be specific here.
Yeah.
Queue up, right? I'm sitting in my chair. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm actually pretty focused. I'm ready to
Yeah.
go. And I'm even like, I might be watching my old VODs or whatever it is, talking to people about the game in my Discord, right?
Yeah.
And then I get into it. I'm in queue. I try. No, not even that queue. Actually, let's talk about this specifically. I'm in queue for now 15 minutes.
Yeah. You sort of lost a little bit
And
of it.
I'm starting to like get a bit drained because I'm not stimulated mentally, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like still just kind of in Discord, and maybe I'm like just looking at my Midland Academy, like working on something on the side or whatever it is. And then I pop, and then I see like, then this is where it happens. This is where it starts. Like maybe I get all the way to the end of the draft and then a dodge. Another 8 to 10 minutes. Go through the process again. This time I might just have an autofill or a really terrible comp or like an autofill jungle. Go into it, I play,
Yeah.
and then like I lose.
Yeah.
And then I get into the review, and then like I just see some stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm still okay. I'm still okay now. Then I go into the game and I see another 15-minute queue,
Yeah.
and then a dodge. Sometimes I had a remake, but last time I played, I had a dodge, and then I had and then I had a remake, and then I had another dodge at the end of the lobby. So the whole process of 45 minutes to find a game. So anyway, this is what beats you down. It's not just Q, pop, play, Q, pop, play. It's Q, extended periods of time.
Just bullshit that happens in the game.
Bullshit that happens, get abused or whatever it is.
People just flaming each other. Someone just doesn't want to win the game.
Yeah, and then get into review, then queue up again, deal with the bullshit play. So that's what ruins the intensity of part of it. Well, that's what ruins the whole process in a way for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the solution for us, Nathan? Because I think this is a more OS problem.
Well, part of it
This is
is...
specific to us.
I wouldn't say it's an OS problem because I would say that even if you get insta-Qs, you get beaten down by the games anyway, right?
Yeah.
I think like it's
There's
like
an element of damage.
Just
It's like-
ridiculous stuff.
It's kind of like you're taking damage. Like you have armor,
Yeah.
and your armor gets damaged. You
You've
gotta like
done
repair
that
your
before.
armor.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
that's
that.
why three blocking is one of the huge solutions.
That's yes, it is. Okay, definitely is, but it doesn't by any means prevent it.
Playing 110%
I mean,
high
you get
intensity,
but
for
because
3
you
games in a
get
row.
broken down even after one game sometimes, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So look, you know what I
So you
think
got to
it
build
is.
mental toughness.
So I've thought a lot about this because again, we wanted the aim of this podcast to be about how to increase intensity, right,
Yeah.
and focus. So let's bring it back to other sports, right, and other domains. In any other high level sport or anything, there's warm-ups, right? Whether you stretch, whether you do an actual exercise, like whatever it is, there's people have a routine, a warm-up routine, some form of way to either warm up your body, warm up your mind. Even in poker, when I read that poker book, they have warm-ups.
What do they do in that? What do they do there?
They go over like previous hands played and review like their
Interesting.
goals and what they wanted to work on specifically. That sort of stuff. They actually like kind of have like warm-ups within. And the guy said it should only be, I think I forgot his name, but it should only take max 10 minutes. But there's warm-ups even in poker. You can't just go straight in. And I feel like what I've been missing, and because we remember this in Direwolves. In Direwolves, remember what we used to do before scrims? We used to do 5 to 8 minutes of practice tool.
Yeah.
There was a warm-up, or there was a meeting into practice tool. Remember on game days, or even when we were at Worlds, there was like some form of process for each individual player, where they would listen to music, some would do whatever it is. There's like some form of a process. Right now, Nathan, what we are lacking, I feel like, is that we have no warm-up. There's no like routine to get. We're not even just talking physically. Obviously, there's the physical element if it's your first block of the day, right? Where like the first block of the day you feel shit because your hands aren't warmed up. That's easily fixable with a warm-up. Whether it's LOL dodge game, Lux bot drill, Mundo dodgeball with someone, whatever it is. I'm talking more mentally warming up. Sometimes this might be as simple as having a playlist.
Music and playlist helps me.
Music, it could even be music while playing dodge game. It could even be watching a hype thing that you just always watch before playing into SoloQ. It doesn't even matter what the hell it is at the end of the day. Something that gets you just in the zone, ready to, it's go time. It's like, this is it. Because at the end of the day, Nathan, a way to cheat this, what we've been saying, is blocks, right? So you play a block at X time. But a lot of people don't have that luxury of starting their block at the exact same time every day.
That's true. Yep.
They don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
And there's all this stuff in between the games as well. So what I'm saying is maybe you could have that warm-up section. So when people would do a warm-up, LOL dodge game stuff, they actually do that in between maybe to keep their brain from fizzling out in a way. Again, while we're on this topic, remember Direwolves in between games. We did not allow players in between scrims. So we did like a 3-block or whatever it was. We didn't even allow players to go on their phones or YouTube videos or anything. All they could do in between the games was look at their VODs or League of Legends, like literally VODs. That's it.
Yeah. So you're fully focused.
So you can't. There was no way to unwind in a way.
Yeah.
And you know the times where we did screw up our intensity.
What?
Is when the other team was late.
That's right.
Think about that. The other team was late, which then brought in an element of chaos.
Like we'll start joking around and stuff like that.
So
Usually fakers.
So to give a bit of context, right? A review would probably go for 13 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Post game.
Yeah.
So then the teams would both have 13 minutes in between both games in the scrim block, would have that period of time, so that they could actually like review the game.
Yep.
When that 13 minute got dragged, sometimes teams were tilted and they didn't want to play, or their reviews went too long, or whatever it was. Our team would lose focus because they didn't know what to do. It's like, I've reviewed my VOD here. I don't know what else to look for. And then they just dick around. Everyone starts memeing and saying, you remember that play? And then if they start like talking about shit, and then it gets out of control, then boom, we've lost focus, we've lost intensity. And then it's a snowball effect. You can't regain it.
Yeah. I remember they'd start wrestling and stuff, Shen in comments.
Yeah. King and Shen would start wrestling, and then,
It would be, so...
someone get a snack, and then it just turns into a shit show. So I genuinely think, Nathan, this is one... We need to explore this. We need to
warm-up.
A warm-up, but
playing a normal game? Playing a ranked game on a second account?
No. It has to be short, sharp, 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
It can't be dragged. They're not going to do it otherwise. No, not even too long. It's got to be stuff like this. It's got to be, like I said, a LOL dodge game for 10 minutes while listening to music. It's got to be watching over previous VODs.
Yeah, maybe that's what I should do,
It's got to just be really...
I could see right now how looking at some VODs of my past mistakes, it makes me refreshed up and be like, okay, this is the feel. This is my thought process here. It starts engaging my brain in complex problems that I need to solve.
Well, I view it as like a bookmark.
Yeah.
Your previous block, you put like at the end of the block, you put a bookmark. And then when you look at those previous VODs of the block before you did, it's like you're opening the book back up at that moment. And you remember all the way you were thinking. You remember
that's right.
what was happening in that block.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I can remember. Again, I think I told this about last podcast. I can literally go back on my notes and watch the videos. I remember I can remember. I can't just like pull it out, but if I saw it, I was like, I remember
straight away you would notice, remember the game, or like
and
the
that's
play.
Crazy. Think about how much. It's like 300 games is what 300 hours of memory, of like decision making.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's nuts, dude.
Yeah,
I think that would help a lot. I think that's interesting. I got to explore the warm up.
Yeah, and so look,
I mean, I've done that before. Actually, I would say I warmed up with in season 3. See, when I got 3 accounts top 10, when I was playing at my best, what I was doing was watching WoW Arena videos.
yeah, that was your warm up.
That was my warm up.
Because like you're getting in the zone.
Dude, I was a fucking beast, dude.
Yeah. So you didn't even know you were doing it. But
No,
you were
I
doing
didn't.
It.
No. Well, I mean, I was doing it because I knew that it helped because I just wanted to be a beast. Because especially when I was almost, I remember specifically, it was in my second account. I was like 700 LP getting to like 800 or 900, and like I literally remember, dude. I was watching like the old Recful videos, like Recful 3 and stuff like that, and like because that nostalgia because I was a former WoW Arena player. Yeah. It's like this is just insane gaming. Like the mechanics, the speed, the intensity. You could see it in the video clip, you know. And that's what really like motivated me and stuff like that to like just be a beast. And that definitely translated because that was when I was at my best, dude. You know, like I was dominating everyone in SoloQ.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and that's what I warmed up. And now what I do is just like go on Discord and stuff like that and
me too.
Check my emails. And
well, do you find it difficult though when you're in? So I mean,
But to be honest, I don't view myself much as an intensity problem at the moment because I'm just like, again, I keep saying in my head, all League of Legends is making the best quality decisions. Just being, I mean, I guess it's like focus.
I think it is, Nathan. It is an intensity thing.
Maybe there is. I think there's
because
definitely.
Because think about Nathan, I don't believe. I think your problem where you're giving up after one thing, I feel like that's an intensity problem.
Yeah, I think it is. It is. Yeah.
It's like the byproduct of pretty shitty intensity.
Yeah.
Like if you're really intense about the game, you're not just gonna go from 0 to 100.
If it was life or death. If someone had a gun to my head, I'm going to beat that level 16 Kassadin, dude.
Yeah, you're going to figure out a way.
Yeah, I'll figure out a way.
Yeah, you're going to figure out a way.
Even if I'm 0-3, dude.
You're going to do something.
As bad as it feels to be walking around as a 0-3 Olaf.
Yeah, you're going to do something.
I got to figure it out. Even if it's not dying more. It's like learning how to lose.
Or just playing Peel. Maybe you have to Peel Olaf.
Peel Olaf.
I don't know.
Champion identity. Whoosh, out the window.
There goes the pen. Yeah, so I think there is an element of intensity there. You know, the analogy I like to use is like, it's like a car, right? Say you want to get to 100 intensity.
Yeah.
If you start a car from 0, you got to warm up the car, right? And you can't. And when you feel like you're trying to like get to a certain speed, you don't just randomly go from 0 to 100, right? Yeah. You gradually go up the speed, right? You go to like you go to 20, 30, 40, 50, right? Whatever. And I feel like with warming up, you're getting yourself already to like a solid 50 or something like that. You're like ready to go. So then getting from 50 to 100 or 50 to 80, 50 to 90 is way easier than 0 all the way to 90. Think about the time it takes as well. You're going from like Discord, chilling, right, to...
Here we go. What's the next objective? Here we go.
Or to in-game. Think about a game plan in what,
space.
10 seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But think about if you're already kind of... It's in that mentality, in that, and it's not even about the specifics. It's about just more the mentality. It's a feeling.
Well, if I was looking at some of my VODs, like at the end of the day, I'm versing most of the same champions. It's like, okay, remembering about Twisted Fate ult or Shen ult or something like that.
And that's going to literally be all that.
That helps a lot.
That can be the difference. Though.
Yeah.
That's literally the difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's an look, and then what are we going to do, Nathan? About you obviously stream on your Discord, and I stream on my Discord, right? We do like stream our games. And we review our games on the Discord as well. What happens when you've reviewed your VOD? And then what?
Yeah, I go in queue and then I'm just talking to all my members.
Me too.
My SoloQ members.
So how does that work?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good, right? For intensity.
Yeah.
So then you got to make a compromise and accept the reality that you're not going to play in max intensity for the members.
Yeah, so they can help them with the thought process and interact and answer their questions.
Or...
Yeah, it's
something to think about, right? Because all of my comparative last year, I never did that. I never spoke to anyone during my SoloQ sessions.
Yeah.
Now, all of my SoloQ sessions now I'm in my Discord. I don't think I play a single SoloQ session not in my Discord. Which is interesting. It's a trade-off, I guess.
Do you play better your second game than your first game of the block? Because I guess my first game's my warm-up, but it's not a proper warm-up, you're saying, because it's too long.
Well, it depends.
Sometimes I say, first game of the day is my warm-up. I don't care if I win or lose.
To be honest, like, For me, it's not really. To be honest, it's actually weird because I get less intense throughout the block.
Yeah.
But my hands get better. So it like nets out in a way. So my hands feel much better in game 2, game 3. But my mind doesn't. I'm like beaten down.
Yeah.
Like game 3, like I said,
Yeah.
with all the stuff that happens, I'm beaten down.
Yeah.
It's a problem, dude. It's a problem. So, I mean, that's where I think we need to start, though. I think we need to start by exploring. And let's
Before the
experiment.
game.
I'm going to experiment today.
Okay.
I'm going to experiment today with just adopting this mentality of, like, just holding... I just got to, again, hold myself to the highest standard, play beautiful League of Legends, look at my... As a warm-up, look at my previous VODs to see where I left off and, like, see where I was at. Dodge, lose... I'm just going to do it. I'm going to dodge the first losable game.
Yeah.
The second one, I can't. And that's what I've, by the way, noticed. It's never worth dodging twice anymore. Because of the penalties.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
minus 10, dude.
I know.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
worth
So,
it.
so the way
The
that I
second
do it
one's
is
never worth.
-3, and then because I go jungle mid, and then if I get off roll, I'll go -3, and then I switch to support, and then I'll play out the jungle support game. And if I off roll again, then I will cop the -10.
Right.
I have to.
Wait, you'll cop the minus 10?
Yeah, I have to. I can't play ADC.
Oh, but it's as if you're actually autofill.
Yeah.
But if you're secondary, you'll still play
Yeah, that's
it.
right. Yeah, but I won't play secondary on my first dodge.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. It's a good little process. By the way, I want to caveat this entire thing by saying what we are talking about now, in a way, the dodging and everything, this is not really applicable.
No,
To-
dodging's a toxic mindset
Dodging,
for
dude,
gold and silver.
Dodging,
icons.
like, compositions matter less the
Yeah.
lower you get.
Yeah,
It's all about chair mastery. You can have a Garen into a Vayne in gold. I would way rather the Garen. You know, like, this Garen gets counterpicked by some idiot.
yeah,
Like, the Garen who's played a lot of Garen is going to win that game.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
yeah.
You know, this is the way it
They're
works.
trying to be like all fancy. I'm gonna count. Garen in the vein like dies first blood to the Garen with ignite.
So, Nathan, talking about intensity and talking about blocks specifically, you know, you're a big advocate of the 3 block.
Yeah, well, it's my religion.
Your religion?
3 block religion.
I have a guy. Me and him pretty close. I've worked with him for quite a while, Cyka. And to give a little bit of background, if I haven't already said it before, he was was it last season, the start of last season, he was a Diamond 3 Yasuo one trick. He wanted to redefine himself, went all the way to Plat 4, learnt Twisted Fate, these champions, and now he's back up to relearning the game literally from scratch essentially because he learnt nothing playing Yasuo, but basically nothing. That's what he said. And went all the way back up to, and he peaked this season, Diamond 2, like 80 LP. Playing like Twisted Fate, like
It's
really
insane. Completely reshaped his
completely
identity.
redented.
Went all the way down. That's brutal. Props to him.
Props
man.
to him, right?
That's insane.
And one of the things that we worked on was well, you got to do blocks, otherwise, you know, nothing's gonna work. So he has done 62 days of 3 blocks of 3.
Okay.
60,
3, so he's done 9 games a day. Holy shit.
62 days.
Yeah.
Of 3 blocks of 3.
Okay. Let's continue on with this case study, Curtis.
So I'm gonna quote. I'm gonna read this out. So he's recently dropped, and he dropped all the way back to D4 from D2.
D2 to D4.
And
In a how short period of time?
I didn't ask, but it was relatively soon.
Because that goes against my method of I've never dropped more than 6
Exactly. It
LP a
goes
day.
again. It defies your law.
Well, but he's playing more than me though. I play 2-3 blocks, maybe 2-3 days a week, and the rest of the day it's just 1 3-game block.
So let's read this out.
Yeah.
D2 50 LP. I won a Victor game that was seemingly an auto loss. Every game after that day was a loss, dropping me down to D3 0 LP. The next day, I was in a slump or something, so I played another whole 3x3, and I lost 6 games that day, and then I was back in D4. Then I just felt like I knew nothing. So I watched some of the gameplay from the weeks previous to this, and to like compare, right? Like, what is he doing now comparatively to when he was winning? And he says, and I seriously couldn't spot the difference. I was making similar decisions. My pace was similar. I didn't feel like I was doing anything outrageous. The most prominent causes, and I asked, what were the causes of your deaths out of interest? And he says, the most prominent cause of death were in 3v3 skirmishes and very skeptical 5v5s. Very few very few deaths to ganks, and only the tricky to track ganks, like probably like the level 2 cheeses and shit.
Yeah, weird path in.
So essentially, skirmishing was a big problem. And he said this. The thing about the few skirmishes, the ones that I didn't attend lost me the game. It's almost as if the adaptation to the game state was the fight. So basically what he's saying here was that essentially these early skirmishes that he did not attend to were like game losing. And when he was climbing, he would actually attend these fights and somehow win them as if he was like a skirmishing god. And as he started to lose confidence in myself, his skirmishing ability dropped. And so he started to go to less fights because he felt as though it was just compensating. So he just stuck with his decision to like not go to these fights. But he seemed to me that it wasn't actually compensating all along. It was just like adaptation. So this is interesting because
got it. So he had to adapt, and it was the correct decision.
Yeah. So think about that, right? So you start to lose.
Yeah.
You might even be doing all of the very similar things, if not playing even in your mind better, because you're being more decisive. You're like, I'm just not going to go for that fight. It's not coherent with my champion's identity, or I think it's losable, or it's a free loss, or whatever it is. But what's actually happened, because he's become more and more conservative as he's losing confidence, right? Because he's not going to play more confidently as he's losing. He's going to get less confident. He's getting less confident as you lose, which is natural. And he's going to less skirmishes, which was actually what was preventing him from winning. Because as you climb through Diamond, you got to adapt. The game's chaotic. You got to go to fights that might not be good for you. But if it's a win, it's a win. Or maybe you're playing more conservatively in the early game, then you would have had more pressure and would have been able to get to more skirmishes. And this is the brutal thing specifically about D2 onwards. Look, the honest truth is that League from Diamond onwards is a very messy game, and especially from D2 onwards, D2 to Master, it is
Why
brutal.
D2 not D1?
So D2 to Master, I've noticed is a step.
Yeah.
So you can get from like there's a quality of player, a certain type of player, if it gets a D4 to D2. And then D2 is when it gets hard for some reason. I can't tell you why it's D2 specifically, but in my experience, D2 to Master tier is when they actually have to start assessing way more variables and the game gets more complex. The game is actually very simple from like up to D4 and then D4 to even to D2. It's very, very simple. Like you don't have to do anything special.
Yeah, I guess now thinking now is...
And skirmishing matters more and more and more.
I have some D1 clients that sometimes pop in and out of Master. They hover around there. But I never have D2 clients that are able to do that.
Yeah, no D2 person gets to Masters.
Yeah, and then it's like the D4 to D3 they hover between.
Yeah, they hover in there. Yeah,
it's like sorry. So a D2 player I don't see get Master, but D1 players they pop in and out.
That's correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So D2 to Master is like a really for generally those people that are like have never been Master tier before. They get to D2.
That's right. They've never been to Master.
They've never been to Master before, and they can't get to Master. Yeah. It's like so hard for them.
Yeah.
But then the people who've been to Master before, they'll just constantly pop in and out and be able to get back pretty easily because they realize there's nothing special.
Yeah.
But the people who've never been Master tier before, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point being here, Nathan, is that confidence. Okay, so we know this, Nathan. That skirmish ties into exactly what you said before. It's that one decision, whether you identified the channel or you didn't, or you decided to go for this fight or you didn't, or you misexecuted in this fight.
You based incorrect
one simple mistake can lose you the game.
Yeah, well, let's say not lose you the game, but make the game so much harder that then you make one more mistake, then you insta lose.
Right, yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's like a snowball effect, right? It makes it much harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, it's like the seatbelt analogy, right?
Yeah, the seatbelt analogy, right? Yeah. Where it gets loosened and then
each mistake you make.
Each mistake it gets loosened, right?
But remember, it's not so much mistakes. Sometimes it's more the opportunities I miss. Like you know that specific situation where I could have easily gotten Dragon and it would look good. Like in that situation, going back to me when I ditched Dragon, I contested Rift for 105 that won us the game, against the Jarvan.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah, you wouldn't even know that you missed that opportunity.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And it would look fine on paper.
Yeah, it's like, got a Dragon, great.
But it was like, what else could you have done instead? And that's I think where Cyka's gone wrong is what's happened.
That's what I see for D2. It's the opportunities they're missing.
It's D2 to Master Tier. You have to shift your mindset from rather than not making mistakes anymore.
Yeah.
That's when the winner's game really becomes apparent.
Yeah.
The winner's game really, really becomes apparent. And I feel like the winner's game starts to become apparent from Plat 1. Like it starts to form, and there's certain games where you need to adapt the winner's mentality.
Yeah.
But the loser's game still can get you all the way to around D2.
Yeah.
Where you're just doing the fundamentals, you're not really doing anything special. Play super conservatively, and people lose around you.
Yeah.
That it can even get you to D2. But then what's happened is he's actually failed to realize all these missed opportunities. And when he was climbing, he was probably just attending all of them.
Did you review those games with him?
I've probably reviewed them. I can't, but I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of him losing or winning.
Okay, yeah,
I was just doing the review, you know. And but when I get into his reviews, it's always just like very small details. Again, like a missed opportunity in a skirmish, or like he should have used his TF ult here instead of there. Like again, we talk about the missed opportunity with Twist Effect with him a lot. It's like you shouldn't use your ult here because he's not the win con, and you got away with ulting here. You still get the kill, but it won't actually do anything. Like this kill comparatively to what you would have got by just holding the ult and preventing the jungle from ganking bot would be much more impactful, right? So it's like that sort of stuff. But that's really hard to do on your own, and that's where coaching comes into play. And so I think what's obviously happened, he hasn't adopted that mentality where, you know, he's probably playing really well. He's probably playing solid League of Legends. He's not dying to ganks anymore. He's got solid fundamentals. He's leaning. He's getting good quality wards. But maybe he is, like you said, he's not getting pressure when he needs to, or he's not basing when he needs to. He's missing opportunities. He's actually not attending fights that he should have attended to because that was the win condition. Like it's all these missed opportunities, and then again you lose confidence after these losses, and then you see less opportunities. You see less opportunities until you just start playing or not going to the opportunities that you would have otherwise capitalized on in the past, and it was dropped to D4. And
so what was his response to that?
Well, I said I was going to talk about it on the podcast and break it down, but like, because there's always a logical reason. Well, look, props to him for doing the block the 3. That's the big thing. That's impressive.
Well, the other thing there is that the difference between that worries me a little bit is that he was playing 9 games a day, and I mean, part of me I want to know, it's like, what was really his break? Is he? Because the only way you can play 9 games a day is you would have to be do nothing else. Like he wouldn't have.
He wants to go pro.
Oh, he's a full-time player.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that makes sense.
Dude,
even
and he exercises and everything. He's like a beast.
Even thinking about, I mean, Will, who I work with, who we've gotten to like 1K LP challenger. He goes to school, so he doesn't have time. But he only plays. I mean, he rarely plays more than 6 games, 2-3 blocks a day.
Yeah, but that's just because he's at school. If you wanted to go pro, you should be doing 9 games, at least 9 games. 100%.
So you think more games?
You're saying that if you wanted to be rank 1 and you had nothing to do all day, you would only do 6 games out of a 12-hour day.
Interestingly enough, yeah. I feel like 6 games is the limit.
You would do that. I could guarantee you that you would not do that. Think about how much time you have in a day, Nathan.
I guess so.
There was no way.
Yeah, no, but I think it might be better. I mean, maybe you got to ask those questions.
Nathan, at that level, you got to play a lot of games.
Yeah, okay.
It's not even. Yes, I understand intensity, but figure it out. Like you're just not playing enough games. You're just not. If you're playing 6 games a day and you want to go pro, you're just not playing enough games. I can't believe.
Well, again, the way that I view it, Kurt, is that
when have we ever seen?
You can play those 9 games, but you're not playing. You're not getting as much.
Yeah, but
learnings.
When have we ever seen a pro player do that? And who's done that? That's the thing. Like, yes,
like
you might
a rank 1 player or something.
We've never seen a rank 1 player who's played that little games. All of the best players, Nathan, have played a shit ton of games.
Yeah, the best consistent players.
Showmaker plays a ridiculous amount of games, dude. Even after scrims full day.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't play 110% focus intensity.
No. I mean,
so you're sort of saying it's a little bit throw enough shit at the wall, eventually it sticks, and
because the thing is, Nathan, we know this. When it comes to improving through those higher elo brackets, you got to play a lot of games because you got to see skirmishes. You got to see so many situations. Yes, I understand, but you're not. I would actually rather someone play. Say you could theoretically play 2 blocks with 95 intensity. I would rather you play 3 blocks with 90 intensity. Because of the situations you would see.
Yeah, but I think that's unrealistic. I think the way that it works is...
You would do you have 95, 95, and then
95, and then like 60, dude.
There's no way 70. You could... If you did a proper schedule, exercise, eat well, sleep well.
Yeah.
Because he goes to bed at a reasonable time and sleeps well, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So, like... I don't see how I don't see any reason why you can't do 9 games. I can't.
Okay.
I mean, that's where
Yeah,
we might disagree.
if you had again, at the end of the day, you sleep 8 hours, you have 16 hours in the day.
It's a lot of time,
It's
dude.
a lot of time. Let's say three blocks
Think about
at max
it.
is
3
9
block
hours.
can sometimes even take 2 hours. Dude.
Yeah.
You can do a 3 block in 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
You could even do. That's
Dude,
why
maybe it's because it's been so long since I had that amount of time. Like,
Nathan,
well, again, I'm just saying what's worked for me, right? Like,
but we're unique, Nathan, because think about it. We're in O, so the queue times are longer.
yeah.
We also do so many other
That's
things in a
true.
day. So
That's
we're
true.
mentally drained. By the time we play SoloQ, I'm already
That's
sometimes
true.
mentally drained by the
Yeah.
time I get to my SoloQ block.
Yeah, I'm in 30-minute queues, dude.
You're in
Yeah.
30-minute queues.
If you're on EUS and NA, I think
you were
it's
doing.
fine.
I'm doing like
NA is a little bit of a
3-hour
struggle.
coaching
EU
sessions
career.
and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, okay,
come
yeah.
on.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, maybe I'm saying I think it's
For
more
us,
for
there's
me.
no way we could do that.
3 game blocks is brutal. I mean, I think I've only done that probably like 4 or 5 times this season.
In
on a
OS, it's very
Sunday.
difficult to do that because you can't play in the
Yeah,
morning.
that means
in the
when I
morning,
have
you wouldn't be
nothing
able
to do that day.
Dude, you would even struggle to do it in OS because the morning queues are.
Yeah, no. What I would do is like 1 p.m. to like 3:30, and then like 5 till
8,
7:30,
Oh, right.
and then like dinner,
9 till
and
11:30.
then 9 till like 11:30. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. You'd
Yeah.
have to wake up late.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I just found that interesting from Cyka, and I wanted the reason I wanted to share this one, even though you might not be a diamond, people watching this and stuff like that, it just shows how nuanced and how complex the game is. Like, there's no just. That's what makes League so.
One little shiny road. It's like, here we go. Follow this road. This is what you do.
It's not just like. It's not like you just put in the work at the gym and then
Yeah.
you get a result.
It's different in there. Yeah.
It's very different. It's like you get results in different ways, and you got.
I mean, but what's happened to Cyka here? This is an experience that he has to have. That
has to have it.
everyone has.
And I think that he is actually it's heightened for him because
That's actually an excellent experience. Again, the way that I view that is his muscle. He's been put to the point of failure.
Yeah.
In terms of like the gym.
yeah,
And it's like now it's going to heal a little bit,
right.
and he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. There's
Back
no
with
doubt
a
he'll be
vengeance.
back.
You know, like maybe this next push.
Well, he's done the great thing. He's doing his blocks, which is
Yeah.
exceptional.
Yeah.
He has a small champion pool, which is exceptional. He gets into the review. He comes to my coaching sessions. He's got to stick with it, dude.
Yeah,
He's
you
gotta
stick to the
with
process.
it.
Believe in the process over the
Believe
long
in the
term.
process, dude. It will come back. And look,
Over the long term.
if she's proven to herself he can play to a D2 level.
Yeah.
Yes, there are concepts you probably now need to level up. Or there's
Wait,
things
when,
that
when
we-
was he a Yasuo one trick? How long ago?
pretty long ago. I think it was
A
like
year? 12
the
months?
start early last year.
Okay. So in like
About a year.
14, 15 months, that's an amazing
Yeah,
transformation.
no, he's done a huge transformation.
I've rarely seen that from many players.
Props to him. That's why I was saying he's like one
That's
of my
already a huge step down. Now it's like next steps, process.
I don't think because he gets discouraged and he feels like he's so far away from being pro.
Yeah.
But I don't think what he's realized, he's actually stunted his growth by being that Yasuo
Yeah,
one
he had
trick.
to
So
go
he hasn't.
all the way
Yeah, he's
back,
actually.
yeah.
So when a pro is starting out, so for example, me and you, we didn't like become when you climbed to. You didn't even start playing Udyr till like high diamond, didn't you? Like you didn't actually climb with Udyr through gold and platinum and shit.
No, I think I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I was
Okay.
playing Nasus and.
Well, you're actually a perfect example because you went to shit anyway, so you kind of
Yeah,
reiterate this.
yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
right, yeah.
for someone like me or like most other pros, they don't become a one trick,
Yeah.
or they don't become pro after being a one trick of one of these champions because you've actually made it way harder for you. You're starting at negative 50 when they're starting at 0. So we have to first undo all the damage that you've done, then get to where you need to be.
Yeah, I had to undo all the damage of my Udyr.
Right, Nathan had to do the same thing, right? So it's hard. It's really hard. So
Yeah.
props to you, dude. I mean, look, continue on. You got to soldier on. You can do it. You just got to we got to get into the review. And you got to accept reality. It's going to be messy. It's going to be dirty. Getting from D2 to Master is going to be an absolute slogfest. And again, look, I feel bad for him because he's probably getting influence from all these other people, seeing all these other people online and like streamers and shit.
Not even close to what his schedule's like. It's like, if
No.
they're getting results, like I'm doing this, Curtis is telling me
Yeah.
to do this.
What's the point? Exactly. It's so easy to give up, right?
Yeah.
But it's just you got to stick with it, man.
Long term.
I got a few other things to talk about. What did you have some?
I have a case study.
Okay.
So
You have a
I
case
had
study?
someone reach out to me, talking about we were talking about like the 3-game block stuff like that, and some of the mental blocks that he has. So he has a lot of time in the day to play,
Yep.
but he struggles to play more than one game.
Right.
Okay, and this is what he said. Let's get some.
So he has a whole day.
Yeah, well, no, he has like 5 hours to play at least.
She has 5 hours and he plays one game.
Yeah.
So what does he do with the other 4 hours?
I don't know. I didn't ask. Probably just like watches streams and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
Dude, you got to get in the camera, dude.
oh, am I not in the camera?
I think we got to move the camera a little bit to you.
It's alright, I'm literally on like
I just realized. I just looked up here. Like,
am I on the camera? I can't even see.
No,
it.
you can see half your body.
Yeah, it's on like half there, dude. All right, here we go. All right, that back's got cozy.
You're in fairyland.
All right, so
we have the dodgiest setup, dude. We're just.
All right, so he linked me his
Amateurs.
OPGG. So he's Diamond 2, right?
Yep.
And he has a 72% win rate.
How many games played? Tell me right now.
He has 30 games played.
Come on.
I know, that's what he's saying.
End a
He reached
review.
out,
I will
know.
refuse to review someone like that, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't even get a review from me.
I like that. Yeah, that's really bad. So yeah, he's 31 games played, 72%
What a
win
meme,
rate.
Dude.
He says,
You want to roast him, Nathan. Your
I did,
responsibility to roast
I
this
have.
player.
And we're going to roast him here again.
Good.
Even Curtis is roasting him.
I'm going to roast
His
this
name's
shit.
Max, by the way.
Be
He's
careful, Max.
I've returned to my season 10 peak with pretty high win rate, right? And I instantly said, I give a fuck about win rate, okay?
The win rate.
But I'm really struggling to play more than one game a day. Have you ever had the same issue? In other words, you ever have trouble grinding the game? Right? So that's his question to me. And I was basically saying, like, no, okay? Because the simple fact is, don't play the game, can't improve. Right?
Look, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I did get quite nervous to play. I still play, but I did get quite nervous to play when I was top 10 and I was climbing from like top 10 to like rank 7 and shit like that. I genuinely was playing less games.
Okay.
But that was a combination of I kind of wanted to camp that rank.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to lose it before the end of the season. And every game, it's like really, really hard matchmaking. It's not normal matchmaking. It was like kind of like if you're a top 10 player, it's like the way they balance it is like 3 or 4 500 LP players versus, and then you get like a low master tier player to compensate for it or something like that. So I was actually getting a bit nervous, like, holy shit, this is so intense. Every game is like an absolute slugfest. But so if I'm going to be honest,
Can't you say that he could have the same? Maybe he thinks that he will never go higher than D2, so he just wants to camp.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to resonate. I'm trying to think like maybe he has a similar feeling where like he thinks that every player he's versing is really, really good because it's all relative, right? So it's like.
Or you think he doesn't want to hurt his win rate because it's very fancy?
Well, look, it depends on his goal. Dude, if his goal is D2, then this would make so much sense.
That's right.
If this was his goal, right? Like he set out, I just want to get to D2. Then this would make perfect sense. But if his goal is way higher than
the fact
D2,
that he's reaching out, I don't think it is. So this is what I asked. So I said, you have a motivation issue or schedule issue? And he says motivation, I think. And he explains, here's what happens, Nathan. He says, it's disgusting. He says, so he knows it's a problem.
Okay.
I play one game, I win, and then I review the game, which is what I learned from SoloQ. You know, that's what I teach him. He's a client of mine. But then the issue is that I feel satisfied with the LP I got. So I call it a day and wait for the next day to play. So even though I'm climbing or reviewing games as per usual, I'm way behind track than if I grinded games.
Fascinating.
How interesting is this? So what's the psychology here, Curtis? So this is what I told him. You're going to 3 block. You're going to have to maybe start with, because he's not going to be able to do 9 games a day because he's so far like not used to this. So I said 3-game block, and then he goes, well, what happens if I don't feel good about?
Yeah.
It's like don't you guys always say it's like you want to play 110% focus, stuff like that? And then I said, well, guess what, Max? You're never going to feel good because your standard is 1 game a day. So you need to like build the mental. You don't have the mental strength to play 3 games because. And then he literally played a 3-game block. He went 1 and 2, and he said, "Nathan, this really doesn't feel good." 3 games, dude.
I don't feel so good just to start.
That just goes to show. That goes to show how mentally weak he was.
Yeah. No, look. I think it's even more simple than this.
Okay.
The analogy I'll use here is that what we need to do is we need to give him a brutal form of medicine. So it's kind of like in order to, what's an example? It's like we got to like rip off the Band-Aid in a way. And what I feel is this is obviously stemmed to his win rate.
Yeah.
And he's terrified of having a bad win rate.
Yeah.
And
He's always been a Smurf guy. He loves
right, he's a
Smurfs.
Smurf guy. So
but now he's trying not to. He's trying to perform, but he's struggling.
okay, so
he knows it's bad.
Well, so first things first, what needs to happen is that he needs to ruin his win rate. So he actually has to
Sabotage it.
Yeah, so like for example, like when I climbed, I had a 46% win rate when I was in like climbing, and I just climbed it up.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is he needs to get to like a 50% win rate. The only way he's going to get that is by like playing, and he needs to be comfortable because until this happens, it's going to happen inevitably. Either one or two things is going to happen if we actually play this out into the future. One, he continues his same bullshit, and he might sit at a good win rate, but then he'll get capped, and he'll only ever reach the rank that he's playing at, which might be D2, it might be even D1, 0 LP. He could even be capped right now, and then he'll start to lose a few games, and then he just won't play on that account anymore, and he'll just make a new account, or he'll just camp it, right?
Yep.
That will happen.
Yep.
Or two, he will continue to play 3 blocks, and inevitably, you are going to, in order to improve at the game, he's going to get capped, but then instead of just staying there, he's going to get comfortable in it because he's versing these players often enough to learn, and he's going to lose inevitably because he's going to set new learning objectives and mental stats type of stuff. And we talk about that a lot. Boom. His win rate starts to drop. It's not 72 anymore. It's 65, and then it's 62, and then it's 58, then it's 55, 53, 51. It's going to get to 50. Might even get to 49. That's what's going to happen.
That will excite me.
And the reason this is so important for him is that if he wants to actually improve long run, we're not talking this season, like across multiple seasons. This is inescapable. You can't escape.
That's right. This is a must.
It's a must.
It's like the Cyka example. That's excellent. He's had that because he ticked that off. It's like, okay,
Yep.
I've been broken down by this game. Beautiful. Now we rebuild ourselves.
Yeah, so you can't be afraid of it. You got to embrace the fact that it is going to happen inevitably.
You were broken down last season.
I was broken down. I've been broken down.
I was broken down last season.
You can't escape it, dude. Everyone gets broken down. That's the crazy thing about
League will break you to
League
your
will break
core,
you.
dude.
Yeah. League will break everyone. No one is tough.
Not tough enough to be unbreakable.
So that's it. And look, what I would do is I would refuse to review his VODs.
Oh, he's not. He's a former client. He's
right.
Yeah. He's not anymore.
Well, yeah.
I just taught him how to review games.
Well, I would just say to him, I'm not answering your questions.
Well,
if you don't do 3 blocks.
Well, that's what I've said to him. He said,
unless,
talk to me in 2 weeks. You're going to 3 block every day. And he says, okay, I'll get back to you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And if he doesn't do that, I'm not interested.
That's right. I can't help you. You
can't help
yourself.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly. You can only get help from someone else if you can help yourself. If you want to get help.
That's right.
You got to want to do it.
Yeah.
So, that's about it, dude. Super simple. Smurfs just ruined it. This is the Smurf thing, dude. If he wasn't able to make another account, play on another account.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, yeah.
He wouldn't be able to do this.
No.
But yeah, it's fascinating, dude. That's the psychology. It's all win rate. It's all win rate.
An LP.
LP, it looks good, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's a sexy looking profile, dude. That guy looks like a challenger Smurf. But he's never been higher than D2.
Wow. Like I said, I'm the opposite. I'm scared. Like the higher the win rate, the less scared I am of those players.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, dude. I mean, I've already passed all those players. They're all gone.
Yeah, they just stay. They just sit at the bottom of Master.
Yeah. Those players I don't see, and
you don't
play
them.
those. No, in Challenger.
I'm not scared of those players whatsoever.
No.
Because they just don't play enough about the game. They don't play enough of the game. And they get their win rate from going from gold to diamond. They don't get that win rate starting at diamond.
No.
If they had that win rate from starting at Master Tier, going all the way to Challenger, then sure, that's terrifying. But that doesn't exist.
No.
Literally doesn't exist. So anyway, pretty simple. I've actually, talking about discipline actually. Zinnia, another guy in my Discord, actually sent me this nice little thing. I want to read it out. I found it quite interesting.
A little a blurb.
Well, he does a lot of research. He reads a lot of books on like improvement and stuff like that.
He's a well-read.
Yeah, dude, he's like, I'm pretty sure he's like only 16 or 17 as well.
Whoa.
Well, my only problem with Zinnia, if I'm going to be brutally honest, is that I feel like he might go down the route of overcomplicating
everything because he has too much.
Because he knows too much in a way.
What's Thanos said in Thing? It's like when he was talking to Tony, so you have the curse of knowledge or something like that.
Yeah, the curse of knowledge. And I actually feel like what if I were to, I mean, I love that he's reading stuff, but what I would actually recommend if I was Zinnia, I would actually just read books that weren't to do with like psychology and improvement. I would like just read like books on philosophy or like literature, normal literature. Just like, you know, just be well read, but don't read psychology and shit. Don't get too deep in there.
Especially when you're 16. Yeah, you haven't done anything
No,
yet,
you
dude.
got to be able to execute on the knowledge in a way. That's why I said I'll turn it down. That'd be my advice in here. But anyway.
Imagine your advice to someone, read less.
Well, no, it's not read less. Read
Just
different
change,
stuff.
yeah, read different stuff.
Read different stuff, dude. Read like like fantasy novels and stuff as well. Just like
get creative.
Yeah, get creative. So what is discipline? His personal belief is that discipline is the ability to train without any external motivation, training purely for the purpose of training. My favorite quote about this is, motivation is what gets you started. Discipline is what does the real work.
I agree 100%.
Now, why do you need discipline in League? The most common types of discipline is, there's two. He says trigger discipline and focus discipline.
Okay, explain.
Trigger discipline is what you talk about when you say you can't stop yourself from going for bad plays. Compensation kind of ties into trigger discipline. Trigger discipline is honed through practice and outcomes. When you see yourself take a play that you knew was bad, you look at it in the VOD. You internalize that it lost the lane or lost the game because of that mistake, and over time you will learn that making that type of mistake has consequences, and subsequently you'll be less inclined to take that play. Try and think about why you take that play. Try to think about why you take that play you understand is bad. Is it because you are lacking focus, or is it just because, are you just taking it because the game feels hopeless? Understand why you take that play will prevent you from going down that negative train of thought. So essentially, that element of discipline is like, that kind of ties into the pain plus reflection. If you don't actually embrace it as being a painful experience, you don't actually learn.
So you learn from pain.
You learn from pain.
That's why I love Cyka's experience.
Yeah,
that's a painful
he's
experience.
learned from that, right?
Yeah.
So I think what he's saying that's the first type of...
And that's what Max has to do. He's had no painful experiences, being all comfortable.
You got to have painful experiences. That's what creates discipline in a way. It's like, I'm not going to do that because that's what it led to last time. But in order to have that response, you really got to see, you got to like feel it, and you got to see it and what it led to. You got to understand the consequences of your actions. So I think a lot of people who don't have discipline in regards to like just using their Yone R like that. Like I had a client today where he was using his Yone R like so willy-nilly. Like he was just like, he didn't know if they had flash or not. It was like a very mobile target and just missing ults everywhere. But he wasn't understanding that's what loses you the game. You missed this Yone R and he lost that game. And it was just off these Yone R's.
Simple.
So but if you don't connect these decisions with the result and have that painful experience, you don't improve, and you're just going to not continue to not be disciplined in a way. So there's that. Then the other one he said was focus discipline. He says it's the basis for all other forms of discipline. Simply put, focus discipline is training your focus to become more targeted, last for longer, less broad, more intensive, or the combination of the above. Again, you first need to find out which part you are specifically wanting to hone in on. Are you struggling to maintain focus over a long period of time? Then maybe breathing and meditation is your best bet. Are you struggling with focusing on one thing and transferring focus quickly? Are you focused on one thing and missing other factors, vice versa? Once you figure out what type of focus you want to train, do breathing exercises, meditation, brain training games, or even just remove in-game distractions like your phone, text messages, music, etc. And I think that what he means by focus is when he said these were just thoughts that he's had from reading and studying on mentality he's done the last year. These aren't like official definitions and stuff. And it got me thinking with this focus discipline is I don't view something like discipline like you have it or you don't in a way. I used to think that was the case. But the way I view it is that you don't just tell someone, just stay focused, be disciplined.
That's useless.
It's the build up to that point.
Yeah.
It's like if someone is not focused or they struggle to maintain focus, is something in their life that's making that happen. Whether they've got really poor habits in other areas of their life, or their diet's really bad, or they're like you said, the health and fitness they're lacking. There's something else going on that is limiting their amount of focus. And I think that because I get a lot of people questioning intensity, and I think this is, we've been talking intensity a lot. I actually think this is a huge part of why people struggle with intensity.
Discipline.
This ties in directly with what we were talking about with the warm-ups. It's actually not...
You're disciplined. You're doing the warm-up.
Yeah, but it's not... You're struggling to maintain intensity in this game, not because you can't do it. It's because you lie in bed when you wake up, you lie in bed for 10 minutes on your phone. Or instead of going straight from here to here, you like waste time doing this. Or you've like built these habits over time that you can't get your brain to randomly switch on to intense mode because you just don't do it anywhere else.
That's right.
You haven't trained your brain to do that. You can't go from 0 to 100
Yeah.
in other areas of your life.
Who is it? Jordan Peterson talks about making your bed, right? That's the first step of discipline. Getting up early, discipline. So once you've hit that bit of discipline, then that just goes throughout all your days. The theory.
Yeah, I resonate with that hardcore, dude. You can't just be like...
If you're lazy, you just slop out of bed. You like sit on your phone, you scroll Reddit and stuff, and then you expect to be focused in SoloQ.
How's it going to work?
That doesn't work, does it?
Or like you said, like we said, is if you go from in queue while chilling... We've struggled with this. We go in queue while chilling, and then you're in game, you expect to be max intensity. It just doesn't work.
Well, the thing about that is like we've been pretty disciplined all throughout the day. It's like we have a schedule for our coaching and gym.
It's the only area where we're not.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the only area where I'm not disciplined at the moment.
Is your SoloQ. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Every other area.
Yeah, but again, I'm saying is that still helps us. Like because we have all the other areas. Like, I think that helps me.
So we would probably still be 80% intensity when other people comparatively would be like 60%.
100% you. That's why there's all these players that are probably better than me that I've just zipped past.
Fascinating. Just habits, just healthy habits.
Yeah.
So the gym for you has actually been obviously
It's more
the health
discipline
element. It's a discipline
aspect.
aspect.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's a good point. I said that's actually a good point. And also your schedule.
Because last year, no discipline.
Yeah.
I was just waking up at like 9 p.m. and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get up way
No,
early
9
now
p.m.,
as well.
9 a.m., yeah.
You get up you get up early now as well. That's actually a really good point. It's a very complex thing. I mean, I like viewing it like that. And so I think TLDR, the moral of the story of today's episode, man, is we got to test, man, me and you, let's test some shit.
Yeah.
Let's test what affects having some warm-ups or having some techniques in between games or things that we can do to stay focused, see if it actually has an effect. Maybe we can make like a little, like a note. Maybe we can make like this spreadsheet, right? A shared document between me and you. And we have Curtis and we have Nathan. We have 2 columns. And we have game 1. And then we give ourselves a rating of intensity. And then we actually track it. Let's do the next... Let's hold ourselves accountable here on the Broken By Concept podcast, right? Let's just do... Say we do a month.
So wait, you saying no streaming on Discord? Stream or no
No.
talking?
I'm saying let's try differing things.
Yeah, okay.
Whether you do a week by week or you do it a few days at a time, whatever you want to do it.
I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough time to really know.
A week?
No.
You don't think a week's enough time to test
I
intensity
think you would have
differences?
to at least do a month.
A month with implementing one specific thing.
Yeah.
So...
At least 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe.
Okay, so let's do this then. Let's do 3 weeks of one type of like...
Let's get specific.
warm-up.
Of one warm-up.
Yeah, so let's say...
looking at notes and games or
So let's
practice
do... While you're in queue, you go over your previous VODs of the block you played before. You just watch over them.
Yeah.
Can
we do that with our members?
Yeah, we can do it with our members. We can go over previous VODs.
Yeah.
Yep. And in between, and then you review, and in the next game, rather than like just talking about stuff, if you finish your review of that game, you just go over a random VOD.
Got it.
Random VODs of like games that you've played before.
I like it.
And so the whole time...
What about VODs of other players? From like, let's say if I want to like learn like some skirmishing from like a Korean child.
Oh yeah. Okay. As long as it's like reviewing a VOD. Yeah. Is what I'm saying.
In between queues, and no YouTube, no checking emails.
Yeah, this is no checking emails. There's no like, just essentially all it has to do is just league VODs. That's all I want. Let's test this.
Done.
And then at the end of after each game, actually, you make a note on the document what your intensity was.
Yeah. What you
thought your intensity was for that game.
Yeah.
And
out of 10?
I was thinking out of 100.
Okay, out of 100.
So out of 100, and then we do this for 3 weeks.
3 weeks, done.
And then we have a shared doc so you can see both of our things. And obviously we're only playing blocks of 3.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What do you think about a 4th game if one of those games was like like a 15.
Yeah.
You can do a fourth,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
okay, so
Yeah, I'll
box
do
of
that
three,
now anyway. Yeah.
3/4 if it's like a really
Yeah.
close or shitty one. All right, let's try that, and then we'll keep people updated on the Broken By Concept.
Done.
Before we go into the questions,
Our battery's about to die, Curtis.
okay, don't worry then. I'm gonna write an article on that, so don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
We'll talk about it maybe next podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next one.
All right, we're going to quickly transition to Nathan's mailbag. Welcome back for Nathan's mailbag. Jingle, jingle, jingle song. All right, welcome to Nathan's mailbag, everyone. This is the show where I grab you in. We read out, people send us questions or stories or success stories
Or failures.
or failures or problems to solve. So if you want to be on the show potentially, email us at brokenbyconceptshow@gmail.com. So this first one, this is a pretty cool story. He actually wrote into us a while ago. I never mentioned it.
Nathan, come on.
I mean,
It's your
yeah, we
mailbag.
never. I know I stuffed up. We just were
Come
just.
on.
I mean, there's no excuse. Okay, we don't make excuses here. So the title of this email is called "How You Guys Help Save Me." So this guy, my name is Jekar. I'm 24, but I wanted to share how y'all helped me outside of the game. I grew up bullied a lot, family issues, extreme depression. I've attempted suicide 3 times in my life, in middle school, high school, and at the beginning of 2020, so pretty recently, where I was in the hospital after taking a bunch of random pills and throwing up blood through the night and day. Even after leaving and seeking help, family trouble and life would keep me down for at least another 6 months, it felt like. I was lucky enough to find an amazing woman that helped me, but I was still struggling mentally, and throughout that time period, I stopped playing League, so I wasn't staying up on your content. Then I want to say it was August, I'm not sure, I got back into League and went right back to your content, and you and Nathan started Broken by Concept. And though it's about League some episode, in many ways it's not. It's about us, the people, playing League and the mentality of us different players and the mentality needed to play League at not just a high level, but a healthy one. So as I listened to it, it made me think, because what you are saying is very thought-provoking, and I lacked so much of these things you talked about in my personal life. Stuff like applying discipline, confidence, a will to learn and grow, but he wasn't doing it in his own life. So he challenged himself to get better at League of Legends in the same way he challenged himself to get his life back together by working on discipline, setting goals for himself, working on chasing and doing things he loved. My life has felt a huge turnaround after working and applying these concepts into my life. And yes, I'm still working and growing because, like you and Nathan have taught, it's a marathon, not a race. And you don't become challenger overnight, and you don't get where you want in life overnight. So thank you, Nathan and Curtis, for saving me by concepts.
Wow.
That's an amazing story.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jekar.
And that's why we do this podcast, don't we, Curtis?
Well, that's overwhelming, honestly.
I know that I haven't got someone written to me like that before, you know?
Yeah, no, never.
Literally saved this guy's life.
Well, I'm glad that...
or put it in the right direction, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to hear that you're back on track, man. And thanks for sharing your story.
And you know, at the end of the day, that's what we talk about. It's like this League, learning how to learn, challenging yourself. League is such a great tool. It can be a dangerous tool, League, but it can also be a very helpful tool for some people if you view it in the right light.
It's just the way you use it.
It's the way you use it. It's like the way that I view League. It's like a scalpel, right? In the hands of an individual, of someone who wants to do bad with it, can do massive damage. You can, slice someone's throat or something like that. But in the hands of a doctor or surgeon, it saves lives.
It's like weed as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's people that can be negatively impacted
people
by
soon
it.
can be super creative and stuff.
Yeah.
And do like crazy stuff, smoking weed,
Mm.
and other people do nothing. Or probably ruin their lives.
There you go. We're advocating marijuana. Like, I can't sponsor us, marijuana.
Marijuana companies. No, but thank you so much, Jekar, and I'm glad to hear that you're well. And I know that's you've been through some rough stuff, but hopefully you're on the up now, and
Take it day by day.
Yeah, man.
It sounds like you're on the right track.
And look,
You're on the right
my
track.
advice is like, again, stick with the process and stick with the with whatever you're doing at the moment, and don't get complacent. You know, there's going to be ups and downs, and
Yeah, you're going to have more downs,
and you just got to stay on top of it. And it's the great thing is the way, if you conduct your life in this way, is what the way and things that we talk about. Even when you have a bad day, it's still a good bad day. That's why I like to view it. And that's where, so when I was coaching at Dials, right? When I had my insane schedule, sometimes I'd wake up and I'd feel like shit. I had no sleep. It was just, and I had just a bad day in general. The entire day was bad. But at the end of the day, because I stuck to the routine, I just slogged through it, and I did it with discipline. It was still a good bad day. A bad day before would have been shocking, you know. But a bad day then, or doing this, it's like it can only be so bad. So that would be, stick with it, man, and don't get complacent.
Grow every day, learn every day. All right, so moving into our questions now. This first one is from Society, who's emailed us a couple of times.
Yep, I've heard this name before.
We have heard this name. This is, again, it's not one person, it's a group of people.
Yeah, it's a group. It's just the society. It's the society.
Human race.
Everyone.
The human race is emailing us.
It's a big email, dude.
Potential exception for smurfing.
Okay.
Ooh, dangerous, right? Here we go. Hey guys, first off, love, thanks a lot for the podcast. I just watched a league video of Parnellix, Master Warwick main. He's made a really big Warwick guide. It's actually pretty good. Getting coached by Vega V2. At the beginning, Parnellix, I don't know how to pronounce his name, said that he had ADHD and it affected his gameplay. He then said that something he started to do and that helped him was to play on a Smurf around Diamond 3 until he felt ready, in quotation marks, to play on his main. I was sure Vega V2 would tell him to stop that. But to my surprise, he didn't. I was in shock. I thought Smurfing would never be useful or even approved by any good coach. Now, I will not do that. I know it would not help me improve at all. I don't even have ADHD. But do you think getting ready on a Smurf is viable for people who suffer from attention deficit, or is it all lies? He says, I'm only taking this seriously because an influential coach said it. I'm really surprised by his take on that subject. I thought very high-level league player had agreed that Smurf equals bad.
Look, I've actually, believe it or not, I've been asked a lot about ADHD specifically.
Really?
And
interesting.
Look, I don't know shit.
We just don't know anything.
And I every time I say this, but I'm just not a medical expert, and I'm terrified of saying the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So, in reference to, I don't understand how attention deficit disorders work, and I don't want to say that this will or won't work. I literally just can't comment, unfortunately, man. I think it's a great question, though, and something we need to explore more because I don't know if have you had people reach out to you with ADHD?
No.
Okay, so I've had quite a few. Interestingly enough, as well, I've had quite a few people with differing mental issues, on the range of, like, on the spectrum of autism and all these different things. And I found that, look, there is one guy I would love to have on the podcast at some point. I've worked with him, and he helped me with my itemization guide a while ago. He's trying to get into the Midland Academy. I think he's gonna try and get a next opening. And he is on the spectrum, and he's dealt with it, and he struggled with it. But he has, like, his own way of navigating his improvement. Like, it's crazy, dude. Like, he explains it to me, and he showed me. He has to take his notes in a certain way. He has to do things in a certain way. He has to view the game in this very unique lens. Nothing that we say just clicks.
Like it does for us.
No, it doesn't click. And so what he's realizing is, like, essentially what he's in the process of doing is he's developing his own toolkit to be able, a mental toolkit to be able to, like, process information and make it make sense to him. So I think my advice to anyone with any form of mental issue, I don't know if that's the proper way to say it.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I'm trying to say it in the least offensive way possible.
Yeah.
So bear with me. Again, my vocabulary is biting me in the ass.
We talked about vocabulary last episode. It's shining now here. You know, this is why. You know.
to aim to develop their own toolkit. What works for you? I don't think there is going to be a cookie cutter solution. Find what works for you. Maybe in the past you've learned in a particular way. Maybe you've learned via audio or visual, writing things out a lot more. Maybe you need to spend a lot of time reviewing. Maybe you can't. You're a very practical person. You just need to feel it. You need to play through intuition. I'm not sure. So to try explore, and you could probably find this out through other mediums in your life, whether it was through studying or playing a sport or whatever it was. There is going to be your own unique way of dealing with these issues. So that's my only advice I can give. And so if smurfing is one of the things within your toolkit
that could be it.
So happens to work for you, then sure. But my hunch, again, take this with a grain of salt. My hunch is that it's nonsense.
I think there would have to be other ways. I wouldn't think smurfing. I mean, I just can't see
exactly.
It. Yeah.
Look, if he feels like whatever that ready means, whether that's ready mentally or maybe it's a physical thing, there would be other ways to recreate that in my mind. There would be other ways.
That's not about playing.
Like we said, whether it's
100%.
watching over previous VODs, whether it's watching a pro player play that game, or whether it's a series of LOL dodge games or drills and a practice tool, something else that isn't smurfing. Because my theory is that you would potentially get that way. Anyway, definitely worth thinking about, and something we probably need to get an expert on to talk about.
Agreed.
Maybe we can talk to Dr. K about that one day.
Yeah. Everyone in your last video, everyone's like, Curtis and Dr. K collaboration. We don't care about Nathan. Curtis and Dr. K. Curtis is the psychologist. Nathan's just the
because you don't do psychology videos.
No, just kidding. No. Yeah.
You
Just
can't
because,
expect-
just because you do
I earned
psychology,
my title,
you're a
dude.
psychologist. That's right. Coach Curtis. Mid lane coach psychologist.
No, doctor.
Dr.
Coach
Curtis.
Curtis.
Dr. Coach. I gotta start my playlist. I could literally say incorrect information. I'll just be spewing out my psychology playlist.
Yeah, then you can call yourself a doctor.
All right, well that's what I need to do now. Understand.
Once you have a certain amount of videos, a
On
psychology
psychology.
playlist,
Got
on your
it.
psychology playlist,
then
then you
you're
get the
a
title.
certified doctor.
That's how all doctors get their titles, dude.
Got it. Moving on. This email is from Timothy. He's one of my SoloQ members.
Timmy.
The problem with champion-specific communities and the importance of role models. This is his...
love this.
title.
I love where this is going already.
Really?
I don't know what he's going to say.
Hi, Curtis and Nathan. This is Tim. I'm writing this in my Year 12 psychology class because it's a topic that's very common in the league community,
Sounds like me.
but hard to call out directly. I had a chat about this with Nate Doggy Doog, Nathan,
Yep.
a few days ago, but basically... Do you reckon that obsessions with builds and runes in champion-specific communities, especially seen in one-trick communities, are productive or harmful? I'm talking about Reddit subs and even the Discord channels associated with a specific champion. I personally believe they're just a trap for newer players to fall into, which results into straying away from the fundamentals, creating excuses for their own skill and improvement, and having an elitist mindset around which builds/runes are correct, even though they have such a minute impact on a game and how items vary from game to game. It's so common, and you would see this specifically in lower elos because it feels so good, believing that you're the only player that elo bracket that has this special X build, or believing that the reason you can't climb is because of your champion being bad. Literally just an evolved version of my teammates are bad. And this just compensates for the bad feeling of being stuck in ranked, solo queue, or just losing games in general, which makes it ever so addicting to do. Do you think these players will have this mentality regardless of these communities existing, or are they a huge factor, contributing towards this issue?
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. I mean, that's why I don't even do my patch rundowns anymore. I don't give a shit. Because my theory is this. A rune page... Oh, first of all, I don't think I've watched a single VOD below D1 that's actually is actually playing their kit optimally. So, yes, you can proc your rune in a way that would get you a little bit of extra damage. But if we were just to optimize your gameplay, we're already going to double
Our damage.
anyway.
Yeah.
Your tethering and your aggressive posturing sucks ass. You don't know how to lean. You don't know how to punish and hit your skill shots. Doesn't matter if you're taking electrocute or comment. if you can't actually, yes, at a basic level, sure, runes and items, you can't just be building anything random. But if we're going to talk the optimizations, like, are we going to go cheap shot or taste the blood? Or are we going to go whatever it is? At the end of the day, or are we going to go like, what's the other one that we always say all the time? It's like Last Stand versus coup de grace. Like, what's going to do more damage? It's like, at the end of the day, it's minuscule differences, and there is so many other flaws in that person's gameplay that would have huge effects on their rank. That it's a non-factor. But I think he's spot on. It's more the mentality behind it. It's just an excuse. It really is. It's just like it's sexy as well.
It's very sexy.
Very sexy.
It's cool. Something that doesn't require you to be good at the game. Really does it. Like, again, he says that's the thing that Tim says here. It's more specifically in lower elos that they're just obsessed with this stuff. They join these communities, these Reddit discords and stuff like that. It's like the Shaco mains or like the Oriana mains. I mean, you've had experience with some of these communities. For your guides, they get nitpicked.
Yeah, they nitpick. Yeah.
And then they disregard the complete fundamental mindsets of these champions.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I think that, yes, this stuff is relevant as you get higher on, but lower elo, no. That's TLDR. But yes, you're right. I think this is a bit of a role model problem because the people that are probably at the top of these like subreddits, they're probably high elo players, right? You might have like a challenger or a grandmaster X one trick. Okay, this is my main problem with this, by the way. I don't recommend for the average player picking up a champion. This is the way I do it. I actually don't watch other people play the champ. So for my first 50, 60 games, I try to have my own take on the champ. I do what I think are the best runes. I do what I think. I test this stuff, right? Then once I have my own take on a champion, then I might start to like branch out and be like, oh, interesting. That's the way they interpret their matchup, or that's the way they use this ability, or that's the way they build and take runes. Oh, that's why.
You're instantly able to grasp it, aren't you? Because you've got your own hypothesis.
You've got your own hypothesis, and then you have something to compare with. But what happens when you go into it? That's why I tell people, my guys, don't go. Because you see people, Nathan, like they have like matchup spreadsheets. Have you seen those?
I haven't.
Oh, no. For mid lane, what it is, right? So there's like, say, there's like a Cassidy in one trick, a high-elo Cassidy in one trick. They'll write like a guide, or what it is, it's basically an Excel spreadsheet of like how, like the difficulty of a matchup and how to play every matchup. But my problem with them is like, if you don't already have something to compare that with, you're actually, all you're doing is just blindly following, and you're not learning. You're actually kind of creating you're kind of not learning why it's the case. You're just copying it. So it's like, again, you're in school and you copy your friend's homework. When you get into the test, you don't understand why the answer came about. You just understand, like,
that's a good analogy.
That's exactly what's happening here. And my problem with a lot of these people is that, all they're doing is blindly copying, and they don't actually have their own theory about stuff. And at the end of the day, these people at the top, they can have their own theory because they understand the strengths, and they understand the champ to a very high level, and they probably understand the game to a relatively high level. But again, these people at these role models, they actually don't even know how to articulate what they know. So so you hear people say stuff like this. I think Way the Tempest, the Yone guy, he says stuff like really in definitive ways. What's the word? Absolutes. You always take X, or this rune is just terrible. It's no nuance, there's no specifics. And what happens is that like people blindly follow him. But what this guy is thinking, in this game, in this matchup, if you play like this, it's bad. So what I say whenever anyone asks what runes you should take, say, either of these work as long as you're playing in accordance to what the rune does. If you're taking Phase Rush and not trying to proc it, of course it's not good. If you're taking Predator and playing for lane instead of roam, of course it's not good. Just play for whatever your rune is, and if you do that, nothing else matters. We can get to optimization later. So I think there is a poor role model thing, and I think a lot of these players, this is probably a reason why they get stuck for a very long time.
Well, you were saying the second part was the importance of role models, how they greatly impact a player approach and mindset towards the game. I met this low masters player when I was a D4 player, trapped in the toxic mentality around builds and perfecting builds and such around his champion. When I saw how he approached his league games, I saw how self-critical he was on himself and his humility towards his own rank while being in voice chat around us low diamond players. It gave me an idea of the attitude in which I should approach my own games. Have you had a similar experience? So I guess this guy helped him get out. It's like he was more looking at his gameplay, his fundamentals, rather than the builds and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, that's actually why I'm in Diamond 4, and it's not my build and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, the interesting thing, okay, what I do respect about One Tricks, though, the high elo ones, is that, like, they're creative.
Yeah.
So, like, what runes are
they
good for...
think outside the box and
like,
stuff. They don't follow blindly.
Exactly. It's like, given, like, my champion's strengths and weaknesses, I'm gonna play the champ no matter what here. So I got to figure out a way to be useful. That's the healthy thing about One Tricks.
It gives you into a frame of... thinking, optimizing.
Yeah, like it's a healthy form of optimization. But at that point, it's because you're trying to bring about a certain result in a matchup. It's not because you're optimizing because like you're in gold or platinum and you need to like climb. It's not. It's like I'm just getting specific about a matchup. Yeah, I don't know, man. I hate.
Yeah, I mean, from my experience, I've had always negative experiences with people that are from those type of communities, like the really like elitist One Trick discords and stuff like that. Just because they're just really not open-minded.
They're not open-minded, and they don't understand the nuance.
Yeah.
Okay. Last point I'll say about it.
And again, they talk in absolutes.
It's absolutes.
Like I pretty much ban absolute talking from my Discord. Anytime someone says that, get specific. I do not care about you invade every time this matchup, lane priority and stuff. It's just all bullshit. Yeah, it's all bullshit. League of Legends, an adaptation game. Embrace the chaotic nature of SoloQ. There's not this little perfect thing you do all the time.
You know, the last thing I'll say about this is that so when I made my pro play insight, so I think Midbeast actually does a very bad job of saying this. Midbeast highlights a VOD of a One Trick.
Yeah.
But what he fails to get across is that in this specific elo, in this region, playing this way, yes, this build and rune setup would make a lot of sense. But in the way you would play in Chinese Super Server SoloQ, playing this way at 1000 LP is not going to be the most optimal way to play this champion in Platinum 2 in NA with your current level of play. It's just not.
No.
So yeah, you can copy and blindly copy and do the best what the One Tricks do or what the best players in the world do. But that doesn't necessarily mean what it's good for you. You don't have the skill set, or you're not in a game base that this utilizes this. And I talk about that in my pro play insight with Dopa. It's like, I probably wouldn't recommend this. This is the way he does it and why he does it. I explain why and what it's trying to bring about and the way he plays the lane in order to utilize this. But this is not what I would recommend for a Diamond 4 Orianna. It's not what I would recommend for a Platinum 4 Orianna. No way.
Playing like Spellbook.
Yeah, or like even like how fast he plays the lane. The lanes aren't going to be that fast because people don't they don't push their lead like that. They don't play that aggressively. Yet another poor league community thing. Another strike.
Yep. Another issue with it.
Another issue, yeah.
Another dark place to potentially end up. Because Tim, he was in a dark place, dude. He was like the Shaco One Trick. Like he would have any excuse for why he's Diamond. But then once he realizes it's not the builds why he's Diamond 4, then it's like, and then he realizes, he actually even tells me he doesn't give a shit about builds anymore, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Because I think what happened, he saw this Shaco player who was like master tier. He was telling me, and he just did random shit all the time. And it's like, what does that mean? You know?
Yeah. He's just
better. Personally, I would say I'm one of the least people that know much about builds and runes. I know almost nothing. I reckon I'm one of the worst in terms of, for my elo, I'm probably the worst. I spend almost zero effort even reading items. I don't read items. I don't read runes. I just copy shit, dude. Really, you know? It's like, oh, that looks good enough. Like, I have an idea, but I really just I've heard this. Like, this will have a crack. Like, I'm just focused on my decision-making fundamentals.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm really struggling, then I'll start going more deep into a champion.
Mine's just feel, dude.
Mine's more feel. Yeah, it's like if I'm playing, it's like I feel like this is a good randoms game against attack speed champs.
Just feel, or like this build feels good. I don't know.
Build shit, dude. I just go.
I mean, like I do think.
I do respect the optimization, but in general, again,
I actually do understand the math because of my my item theory. I understand it, but like I don't use it that often.
Really, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a few things that you should know. Is like Magic Pen is good off like 70 MR and stuff like that. But like,
see, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
But it's not that. It's not overly important. Honestly, it's really not.
Trust me, I'm not losing games because of my item.
Yeah, definitely not.
Look at my notes, man. Like, holy shit. All right. So, next question here. The last one here is from Clayton. The title of this email is called "Long Time Player Seeing Big Improvements." Hey Nathan and Curtis. I love how people start off with my name first. By the way, I wonder what that means.
You win.
Is it because it's Nathan's mailbag? People think it's like Nathan first.
No idea, dude. I think you're just overreading it.
I've been playing League of Legends since Season 1, but I mainly played Twisted Treeline on my early League career. Dude, Twisted Treeline represent.
Yeah, Twisted Treeline was
That's
so
what we
fun.
did as well, didn't we? We loved it.
The most fun.
I
ever.
loved it, dude.
It's one of my most fun I've
Can
ever
you
had.
believe it's gone? It's just gone, dude.
Why would they do that?
I was talking about the old Twisted Treeline.
Yeah, the OG, dude.
So
it was
good,
so
man.
fun, man.
I stopped playing in college and recently picked the game back up once I graduated. I thought it would be very difficult to get back to the level of play I had before I stopped playing, but to my surprise, I've exceeded my expectations and now playing the best League of Legends I have ever played. I'm currently Gold 3 with a goal of reaching Plat 1 by the end of the season. I've been playing in Blocks of 3, focusing on a few champions, creating learning objectives, did a few coaching sessions, and I'm reviewing all of my games. My question is, how do I learn how to learn? You both say you don't know what you don't know, and I really resonate with that. Is there anything that you guys would recommend on how to learn more about the game?
Be more specific. What do you want to know?
Yeah, what do you want to know? Yeah.
What do you want to know? I mean, look, man, we have our channels, dude. A lot of stuff on our channels. I have a metric ton of... What role does he play?
Does
it say?
It doesn't say.
Well, there's a bunch of educational stuff out there. But look, I actually would not get too deep on that stuff. The way I like to view it is like as a problem comes up, approach it. So let's just say you have a hunch. Okay, might even go like this. You might have a hunch that you're dying to too many ganks. On
Not
my
a hunch,
channel,
you could literally see the facts.
we'll say the facts.
Yeah.
Go into my channel, and I've got videos on that. Learn more about it. Get specific. You can't... The thing with League, again, we say this all the time, but you can't be general. You've got to be specific as possible in everything.
That's right.
Why are you dying? What feels off? Like, specifically, is it when you're post 6? Is it your really early lane? Or if you're missing CS, you can't just say, oh, I missed too much CS. Like, why? There's so many reasons why you can miss CS. So, look, again, I think that it's a very tough question for me to answer. If you're really interested in wanting to know more about what's going wrong, then maybe look into getting some coaching from myself or Nathan. That might be something that interests you. But otherwise, check out our channels. And there's a bunch of other educational channels on the internet, on YouTube as well, that do some great stuff. And look, I don't think when you're at that level, goal 4 he's at, he says.
He's Gold 3. Yeah.
Goal 3, keep it simple. Really,
Yeah.
don't overcomplicate stuff. Like, if everything you're doing is great, you will know when you need to get coaching. You will know when you're lost. That's when you're really starting. You're still doing your blocks. You're playing with intensity. You got your small champ, and you're still losing. And you're confused. You don't know what's going wrong. Get some coaching.
Get some coaching.
That's when you need some coaching.
Yeah, I mean, my philosophy is always everyone in League, everyone that been around for League so much, there's so much information. Everyone knows a lot. Everyone really knows what to do, but I just find they just don't do it, and just really simple stuff. But they don't really learn from that. You know, it's like very simple stuff, Curtis. Even going to clearing your jungle camps correctly, doing like the correct path. There's a million videos on YouTube.
No, but I agree and I don't agree, Nathan. Because I agree in the sense that, yes, that if you probe them and asking them, like, if they... Okay, the people that don't clear their jungle camps correctly, I don't think it's because they don't know how to do it.
They don't see the importance of it.
Yeah, it's the importance of it. That's what I realized. So they do understand it in a way, but they don't really understand it.
I guess that, because then what happens is that I show them a VOD and say, you got your team, you missed a gank opportunity, or you lost crab because of it, then you get to start realize.
Because a lot of the time within my Midland Academy sessions, the things that I'm pointing out, they probably even know why this is a mistake, or even be able to point out this mistake, but they won't understand the flow and effect from this.
Yeah, I guess
that's my job a lot of the time. It's like, okay, you're doing this, which leads to this, and then this leads to this, and then this is why you lost the game. So it's like my job a lot
So
of the time
is
is to show them the importance of why they need to improve on that in a way.
So it's not so much knowing what they don't know; it's just understanding the significance of the play.
Yeah.
Or what the decision making they had.
Yeah, understanding the significance of it.
consequences.
But look, again, I'm going to say this again, just keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Don't look to get coaching, or don't even look too much on YouTube content yet. Like
Yeah, don't go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, go. Maybe look at a few videos if you're super interested in a specific topic, but keep it fresh. You're doing really well. It sounds like you got a lot of confidence. Keep playing. Once you get a bit capped, then we can move on from there. Dude, my posture's getting. Look at my
Yeah,
posture
look at
now.
you, dude.
Like a goblin now. I'm just like scrambling off.
All right, well there you go, Clayton. I think that's it's a good question. I mean, I like the question. How do I learn how to learn? How do I learn how to learn? I mean, for me, it's just like I just get obsessed, dude. Like I'm just gonna figure out the solution to this problem. Yeah. I don't give a shit. Like how, like I will find the answer. It's more just getting excited to find the answer. Like if you're looking for an answer, you'll find it.
It's like Taken.
Yeah, Taken. Like I will find you. I will kill you.
Yeah, I will find you. I will kill you. Yeah, that's spot on.
I think that's a good way to note. If you don't subscribe to our podcast, I will find you and I will kill you.
I've seen it.
One thing I would love for you guys to do, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can like rate podcasts and
dude, I'm getting locked on the camera. Look at that.
yeah, you're getting locked on here, dude.
The sniper's on my head.
Chuck a review. You might give us 1 star, 5 stars. Hopefully it's 5 stars.
Oh my God.
We'd love a review on the Apple.
Dude, if
Apple
anyone is
Store.
still listening to this podcast right now,
yeah,
they are gonna give us a 5 stars.
I hope so. Because I want to get more, dude. Because I look at Joe Rogan's, I'm like, God, I just want to get to, I want to get more. I want to beat Joe Rogan.
That's
I'm competitive, man. I want to beat him.
You're gonna get higher ranked than him.
Yeah, on the Apple Store specifically, the Apple Store.
The Apple Store
Apple podcast
list.
Store.
What rank are we on the Apple Store podcast list?
I don't know, Curtis.
Are we even on the top 1,000?
No, of course not.
Top 10,000?
I don't know.
Check, dude. I want to know where rank I am.
Curtis, we're about the process. Remember, we don't care about where we end up. We don't care about how many 5-star ratings we have, but I would love us still a 5-star rating, okay? So leave us a review on the Apple thing, and Curtis will fix his posture. That's a really good shot of Curtis's glasses. Show off your glasses one more time, Curtis. Make sure you're in the light. Hopefully you guys give good positive feedback to Curtis's glasses so he can justify his purchasing decision. And we'll see you guys in episode number 43.
42. That's 41.
No, that was 42.
That was 42.
Yeah. 43 of the Broken by Concept podcast. Whoosh.